rewritten by us, the insurgents, because if an independent researcher does not find it, you'll never know about it. And that's all there is to it. So, and basically every one of the people in our group is a radio show host or an author or do documentaries or they're a paleontologist or
Researcher
so
of
you
some
have
sort.
yeah, everybody has their own little piece of the puzzle, and when we all chip in, then we like spokes in
Yeah.
a wheel. Now we're starting to get somewhere
Yeah.
because the other side they have all that,
I can't believe that.
and
I thought about these cymatics and I figured it out, and you got the same goddamn results. So that's beautiful. Did you?
yeah, there's a place in.
What about Gary
Go
Parker?
ahead.
Have you ever heard about Gary Parker's? The he noticed in the sand dunes, Hebrew writing that was drifting off in the
Hmm.
sands from the side of the Great Pyramids, and wow. So and it actually has
Yeah,
Hebrew
there's
writing. You hear about that?
yeah, there was Hebrew writing. No, I didn't hear about that, but there was Hebrew. There's also Hebrew writing. We've devolved into almost a nothing state. Like during the Dark Ages,
Well,
but
basically,
now
what he noticed
everything's
was
gone
like
by
the sand
technology.
dunes themselves that drifted off and making waves and whatever in the sand dunes actually made Hebrew writing drifting off towards the one side of the
Oh
pyramid.
wow!
So yeah, and it actually made Hebrew writing.
It made like a word in the
Yeah, I mean
sand.
words,
Yeah,
man, in the sand. Yeah,
that's
that's really
crazy.
freaky too, man. Yeah, and
Yeah,
yeah, and
but they
it's quite.
I want to get that labyrinth, and I want to get it out because when you do the like 5 proton lidar or seismic, and shoot game, whichever ray you're shooting through there is for whatever you're testing for. So you tell it what type of material, and it looks only for that. There were bones, gold, wood, precious stones, silver, all these other things, and but it's like to get it out, it's like 80 cubic acres, something like that. And with 80 square acres, so then however tall the rooms are, and there's 1,500 rooms per floor and 2 floors. And you saw that picture of Norse and Tepe. Mark Shermer at Skeptics Magazine was blasting Graham Hancock because he said it can't be real and blah 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 because there's no living quarters. Well, I have a picture of Norse and Tepe that is a hill, and when you go in the front door that they found of it, it's a multi-level apartment building. It goes a few stories down and a few stories up, and it's in Turkey, and it's just never talked about. But if they don't want you to know about it, they've got this now. Everything in school they're teaching you to be political, and you don't have to think anymore. You can count on technology, and it's just to put you at their mercy. Everything from pharmaceuticals to money to debt to all those things, and needing your electricity, needing your phone service, and all that. I could live without my damn cell phone, and it wouldn't bother me a bit. And I think I turned the TV on once the past 3 weeks, and just so much out there. It's just total. Is it? I majored in education the second time I went to college, but I never did my student teaching because I knew that I was supposed to take education, but I didn't know why. And because I had no intentions of ever teaching at a school. Well, so I went and did my 4 year thing, but didn't ever go teach. And I was like, just show me the path and I'll walk it. And now I've been going on these shows and everybody's like, explain this. It's like when I was on Ground Zero with Clyde Lewis, and I had to put out of my mind there's millions of people listening to me live, and we're gonna be doing Q&A. And but I had a lot of fun doing that show. But do some show that big. But that was whenever the Russians broke through to Lake Vostok, and you get all these clickbait things that have pictures of this space sucker alien creature from the movie Aliens.
Yeah.
But actually, it was a 14 leg mollusk, a
Thing about it.
uh, Down, I can't think. An octopus, but it had 14 legs. And what's weird is, at the same time they broke through and found this creature that has 14 legs, you have the movie The Arrival, and they have seven
Legs
legs,
on it.
and one of their legs has seven on it.
Yeah,
So it's an
seven heads,
isopod.
7 heads. Yeah, and the snake creatures with 7 heads. Yes. Yeah,
It's
isn't
like
that
that, but
freaky? Okay.
how did they put that out there
Yeah, well,
without
every
knowing that there was a
culture.
It's a
camera?
Wolfman talking to a video now.
All right, no, it's not. This is the real Wolfman. I'm live on the air, and this is somebody very famous. We're talking to Jeffrey Boyd.
Hey, Wolfman, I'm gonna
Okay,
ask you.
guys, take it easy now. You're live on with Jeffrey Boyd. Now you can ask him a
apologize.
question. Yes, this is Jeffrey Boyd Jr., the LiDAR specialist from the Great Pyramids of Egypt. You're live on the air. You have a question. Do you have a question for Jeffrey? You have a question for Jeffrey. All right, go ahead, Jeffrey. Then they don't have a question. You are live on the air with Jeffrey Boyd, gentlemen.
Hello, yeah.
Neil, do you got a question for Jeffrey?
Yeah.
I can't hear anybody.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna try to get that.
Well, I don't know much about him.
Okay, what he does is he does.
Well, I'm doing the Open Eye Project. I see it.
I'm the Wizard's King. I can do anything.
So, hey, Jeffrey, this is Anonymous Radio Redux, and I had a question for you, man. Who are you?
Okay.
What?
He wants to know, who are you?
Oh my
Who
gosh.
am I? Founder of the Independent Research
It's
Society.
fucking cold.
Hang on, let the person answer. I'm going to mute you.
Who am I?
Yeah. Well, you guys should know who Jeffrey Boyd Jr. is, a
Well,
LiDAR
anyway,
specialist.
Go YouTube it. There's 80 different shows, including Ground Zero, that I've been on, and a million other ones. But
Cool, so another
founded
conspiracy.
the Independent Research Society, and I've done so much I don't even know how to list it. I was just the main speaker at the Mars conference in New Mexico, and so I'm into all these subjects.
So basically, yeah, he's figured out a lot of things. Jeff knows where the treasure is. Put it that way.
Yeah, you can't stick to one subject because, like I said, it's a hammer, everything's a nail. But I was studying Rupert. I got an echo. Rupert Sheldrake.
There's going to be a little echo.
Oh fuck! I'm losing it, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to get. You're going to get echo with you guys on the call. So basically, what I want is a quick question.
Yeah, I mean, you can go on my thing and read my
Okay,
bio.
I got one. Hey, does he know about that the Earth is a slave planet?
I can hear him. What was the question?
Again, Neil? What was that?
Does he know? Okay, does he know about the Earth is a slave planet and the Moon is a war planet?
The Moon is a war planet?
Dwarf planet?
Did you say war or dwarf?
Yeah. War.
Well, dwarf planets are like Pluto and Charon out there, but they're like Kuiper Belt objects.
Bill fucking sorry.
Fall into planet, but
Jimmy, that's enough.
Fuck off, Angela. You
All right. You know, I'm going to mute you. If you don't behave with this guest, I will mute you people. That's it.
It means the land of the plume serpent or the land of the walking serpent, and also Mississippi means land of the walking snake, but I work with, the top anthropologists in the world, and, Klaus has taught me a bunch. And
Klaus Dona.
Look, coming from a chemical metallurgist point of view, I'm looking at things and going, this right here was not carved with any chiseling tools. And ISIS did me a big favor, and they went bashing a bunch of these statues up, and a bunch of them were found to be hollow or replacements, or most of them were concrete and they were poured. Not now, but back
I
then.
want to hear a
And
goddamn
some of
song.
it was newer that probably Zahil Watts or somebody stole stuff.
Do you know what's really interesting, Jeff, is that I was just watching a show today about
he
the
makes more money than all of those. I mean, he makes more money than
piece of shit. He's a
God,
charlatan.
you know what I'm saying? He's having to sell artifacts, but he abused that position big time.
You know, he
There's
should be
gates
thrown
that
out a
won't allow you to
fucking
go
window.
under now, but we haven't even discovered. Everywhere I look when I do LiDAR, I find that there's 10 to 50 times the space underground than there is above the surface.
That's right. And Zahil Watts is a charlatan piece of
amazing.
shit.
I mean, and we've barely begun. And now I'm going to go with Bruce Cunningham and look up Klaus Donna. He's the one that
Klaus
wrote
Donna,
the
yes.
Human Race, and he's the one came up with the out of place artifact. Him and Michael Primo.
Well, basically,
and,
Klaus Donna is nothing to shake a stick at.
Basically, they're I guess they're protege. But I'm coming from the industrial side of it. Klaus Donna is the curator for the museum in Vienna, Austria, and I host a show on L&M. But there's too much to listen. This echo is killing me.
Okay.
Especially being sleep.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I was trying to get some interactive people that are usually good to me to talk to you, but it doesn't seem like they're being very good right now. So that's
next time, I'll be on my computer and maybe that'll help us.
Well, I can just get rid of that really quick. So basically,
I got to get some sleep first because I've been doing so much research, and especially the past few days. But it's just all mind blowing. Like a place that, like you were talking about, you researching. Barry Fitzgerald walked into a cavern in Ireland, and there were three. He kept going through the cave until he came to where three archways were, three doors. And each one had a circle next to the door, basically showing play this frequency, and that door will open. Play the one in front of you, and that door will open. Play that one over there. It's different shapes, but those things are all over the world. But now we're finding that the reason that we don't know the history of America or of North America is because it's the oldest of all of them, even Europe and everywhere else. Now we're finding out that those people were over here at the same time, too. They were a global civilization when they got here. Just like right now, there's a guy wearing a Nike shirt eating a bowl of Fruit Loops in Egypt.
Well, what the hell? We already know that all the copper from Europe was taken from North America.
Yeah, exactly.
So where is the argument?
But see, I believe, and since they found that Carthage ceremonial sword, but also when they pulled up that beam and x-rayed it, they found 3 Roman crossbow bolts that had been shot into it, and then I guess just thrown in a hole or whatever, a well or whatever they had there, and left, or it was a support beam, or they ended up using it as a support beam. But
what do they do to you?
It's not their little. They didn't want any other answer other than at Oak Island than their 1700s pirate story.
I know the guys at Oak Island. I'm from Canada.
BC, 2000 BC, but the Roman Empire rose to power on Michigan and copper.
You guys better shut up in Discord, or I won't put you back on. I've got you muted, you fuckers. All right, now. You bunch of bastards. All right, they're a rotten bunch, eh? But they're smart, though.
Yeah.
So they never heard you before.
Can just drop by the Independent Research Society and come on there and say some crazy things, and you'll be talking to the brightest people on the planet.
Yeah.
Joseph Patrick Farrell and all those guys.
Yeah, Larry, I know them guys too, man.
I'm trying to get him to be my next.
See, they don't really know who they're talking to.
We're talking about the guys that are on Ancient Aliens, to the people who write the books that do all the things. I've got the top people in the world around me.
Yeah, like
and
people don't
they
realize
are
I've
using
got
me
all
to-
kinds of independent researchers that want to go research my farm now because of what happened to me there. And I'm probably going to be on TV too one day. So
that'd be awesome. On what?
well, I got a couple of guys that are doing movies that have been talking to me, and they say they're going to come and do my like my TV interview thing because of
That's
my
cool.
alien abduction thing. When I was growing tobacco, I was abducted. So
that'd be cool.
It's like the
Yeah, and you
Canadian.
need to check out if you want to like connect a bunch of dots. I've got it right here, a signed copy. Somebody called on Christmas Eve last year and said, "You have a package on the doorstep from a Dr. Carl Johan, but it's Johan Kalaman, and he's from Holland. But it's the 9 ways of creation: quantum physics, holographic evolution, and the destiny of humanity." The Mayans knew more about so many things that in like that cavern. It proves that if either the Mayans weren't there and it was a previous civilization when they were in North America, Atzlan, and then I mean, the further we look back, we're not finding where things narrow down back to an amoeba like Common Core education. As we look back, it gets more and more complex.
So basically,
there's more and more complexity.
Yeah, but amoeba. When you mention amoeba, that goes back to the giants and the 6-fingered giants.
Yeah,
because they
if
procreated like an amoeba.
like a bull's head.
Yeah, they procreated
You'll
like an
see,
amoeba. So they were.
That's always associated with giants.
That's
you
when they
find a
showed them
bull's head on
with the
something.
7 heads. The 7 heads is all the 7 the groups of wisdom keepers that around the world spread their knowledge, and that's the 7-headed snake. And
the 7 head. What was it? The 7 heads.
That's why they portray.
portray.
Yeah, that's the 7 heads of wisdom from Atlantis.
Well, and we're showing that there was that we didn't know what the like. And there's a ridge that runs straight from Easter Island and goes straight up onto shore into the Nazca lines and stuff.
Yeah.
From Easter, there's nothing on the bottom of the Pacific, no ridges or anything, but there's a huge ridge called Nazca Ridge that goes straight from Easter Island to the coastline, and I mean to over here, and but yeah, there's just so much stuff. I mean, but yeah, I can do Q&A all day, but I've got to have. I mean, I've been doing all kinds of stuff. I mean, I've been flying since I was a little kid, scuba diving, you name it.
Yeah, right on.
And that's why Klaus Donna, who's
Klaus Donna,
I'd say
he's the one who noticed.
There. If you want to know, whenever the professionals want to know if something's real or not, they send it to him.
Okay, so let me tell everybody about Klaus Donna, because these fuckers don't know shit.
He's like, this dude right here knows what he's doing, and he's got a bright future, and he has the energy and the knowledge to get something done.
Okay,
and
let me just tell these fans for a sec.
That's what it's all about. Politics
I want to
change.
Hang on a sec, Jeff. Just quickly, Klaus Donna is the one who noticed that there was a universal language before Sanskrit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it comes from. His research. So you motherfuckers better shut the fuck up that are laughing in the background.
I found, and we found this. He found the same thing I did, and there was looking for a root civilization and root languages, and I was just listening. I mean, I was just talking about this on the show just the other day. Like, there's this, you see common characters like you would see in our alphabet, but none of the symbols are in any other thing, in any other languages. But you'll see like a backward 7, but it's like squared. It doesn't have the angle thing on it, but that, and then this little circle thing. So I wrote down that alphabet or what it said on that tablet, and then I went and started looking through artifacts at other countries at all of the ones that they say they don't know what they're talking or where it's from, like an out of place artifact. And I'm like, there's an unknown language here, but now it's over here. It's in Crete. It's in Greece. It's Saudi Arabia, and one
Yeah.
of the main places I think, other than North America, I think the Ural Mountains, Uzbekistan, right
Oh
there,
my
Mount
God, it's
Shoria
everywhere.
Gornaya.
Yes, I've looked it up. It's
Shoria
everywhere,
Gornaya,
sir.
Shoria
It
Gornaya is the
is
biggest megaliths
everywhere.
on the planet.
So
But yeah,
basically,
we've
yeah.
got tours that go. We got tours that go to Peru. Like that was just one with Nassim Haramein that was just done like a couple
Nassim,
months
you
ago.
know
Whenever I
Nassim?
was in,
You
uh,
actually know Nassim
no,
Herman.
he doesn't ever. I mean, he don't get online and talk to his people. He's so busy in person, and
But
but
you actually
it's just
have,
it's just one of those things. Over time, you end up talking to everybody.
but you know
I
Klaus
mean,
Dona. You actually met him.
I was yeah. I mean, I was like when I talked to you before, I was on Skype with him, and
Wow.
but that's a friend when you know that if he's 13 or 11 hours off, if we're having to plan a recording time, he only takes off 1 day a week, and the rest of the time he's searching and doing work, to find these things and race toward the artifacts that belong to us because they're our heritage, they're our history.
Wow, man.
Not they're not
Now,
to be hidden
one of
away
his
in
one
some
of his
warehouse.
artifacts that I've seen is a pyramidal shape. It looks like the all-seeing eye,
Yeah.
and it
Hmm.
actually is
Same language.
glowing. Fucking certain lines actually glow, which is strange.
Yeah,
And
it's blacklight incandescent. You stick it under a
yeah,
blacklight,
that's right.
and it glows, and it
Yeah,
glows. If
that's
you put
so
a
weird,
blacklight on
man.
it, it's all
And
blacklight
it's got to
incandescent.
be about 10,000 years old, and over or
Yeah,
more than 10,000 years old. It's a total out of place artifact. Doesn't fit in any history lines. And you flip it over on the bottom, and there's this weird writing, which also is on other artifacts all over the world, found everywhere.
yeah.
And it's a strange language that predates Sanskrit. It actually, it is the universal language we all had before the Tower of Babel.
But look, yeah, and there's little things that just can't be. They're gonna the establishment people if they're from a university, which I went to a university, I went to college, but just like Robert Sepper, who's an anthropologist and archaeologist, but and he's got great stuff. You ought to look up his videos on YouTube. But yeah, all my shows are on there. I mean, I've done but there's only about half of them. I think I've done close to 70 shows in the last 2 years.
I know you're
But
really
yeah, I
trying
just
to.
got back from Silver City speaking at that. But I got named as a speaker at ASEAN at the symposium for the Advanced Archaeology Symposium in the Philippines. And so if I'm named as one of the speakers, then you know what I say to any of those guys being rude? Facebook geniuses and trolls trying to say something intelligent, they are not even a dime a million. Because there's a billion of them out there trying to be smart. So, whatever.
Yeah,
You should spend more time researching. If you spend as much time researching instead of
every
being a
little
dick, maybe
piece of
you would be
information,
friends
every
with
little
Klaus
piece of
Donna.
information we get is worth something.
Yeah. Well, I'm used to being around people who don't act like that because I'm dealing with, I founded the society, but I've got the top guys in the world. If you want to know about the Dogon tribe, from the pyramid codes and from Ancient Aliens, that Laird Scranton who I just talked to yesterday, he's in there. He's going to be on hopefully on my next show when they get the network back up. But I mean, you name it, from Olaf Phillips to everybody's in there. I mean, it's crazy. But we got Egypt tours. But if you want to go on a tour of South America, I've gone to all the pyramid sites down there. And I started going to sites and looking for things that were taught wrong, like the Templo del Hombre Barbado, and it means the Temple of the Bearded Man. And there were no Mayans with beards.
Well, obviously not.
And
And they also had
no,
male and female attributes. So,
yeah,
and
but
also, and the weirdest thing is fish. Like they usually had like
mm-hmm.
something like reptilian or fish like about them as well.
Yeah, and ogdoads. Look up
And they
ogdode.
did not
They don't
procreate.
portray it as we
No,
were.
anthropomorphic. How do you say it?
Anthropomorphic.
Yeah, they reproduce like an amoeba.
Yeah, but look, why do they? And they were the scientists and stuff too. But some people say, yeah, it was a machine, Osirion. But J.J. Ainsworth and Brian Forrester just went over there, and you go down one level, like 100 feet into one chamber, and then you go down another. You're in one chamber, the first one, and you go down 100 feet, and then you open. They have another hole open, and you go down that one another 100 feet straight down, and they found another one of those black vaults. And they've always tried to. And being a chemical metallurgist, what I do is they say, because the Egyptians couldn't even draw a straight line in this granite, much less write a cartouche. If you look at the one that they did carve, it looks like a kindergartner did it. But if you're a heavy metal chemist, which I look at it and I say, if you add feldspar, mica, and sodium carbonate, which is found in the beds, ancient or old river beds and dried up lake beds. That's that white stuff.
Yes,
That's where baking soda comes from, sodium
exactly.
bicarbonate. It's a catalyst. It'll stick the sand back together, but it has so many properties. But it's that I think Tesla, and I know this for a fact now. Tesla's towers were to recreate
Well,
the pyramids.
he noticed the aquifer. When the aquifer pushes with pressure, it creates pressure upwards underneath the pyramid. Right at that point, there's no doubt, and that's exactly what Tesla did. He found a spot where an aquifer pushed with pressure up. Right at that point, and it was on one of what you call one of the.
You got your pressure.
Yeah, and he did also as well. I was on a ley line, one of the Earth's ley lines too. Exactly, corresponding with one of the Earth's ley lines, which have also been proven now by, I think he was a French guy. I've seen the video a little while ago. Can't remember his name, but he's proven the ley lines scientifically, and he's laid them out, totally laid them out, scientifically proven them, and they correspond with all kinds of shit.
We've gone and checked it. I mean, they have energy flowing through there, but see, they knew how to tap into it. But
how? But how the fuck did they tap into that way back then? How?
Well, people just make too many assumptions and see. Whenever universities go out there going off the backs of the work of somebody else, well, that's not scientific method. You go in there and you don't have an answer, because the first thing you learn in chemistry or in science doing experiments, never test for or against a result, don't test for a result, because you'll test until you get that result and call everything else out of place. They automatically assume they didn't have metallurgy, but there's these melted necklaces everywhere, and in Africa, down at somewhere between the 95,000 to 200,000 year range in there was a little Godzilla kind of doll, and it was made of kind of clay, kind of mud stuff. Well, he sent it back to one of his guys in Europe, and he said, tell me, because the belly was bulging on it, and when they x-rayed it, the guy called him and said, Klaus, why would you waste my time? And and Klaus is like, what are you talking about? He said,
oh, man. I heard that. She wants you to go to bed, eh? It's time to go to bed, sir. Mr. Jeffrey, I heard this. I think your wife's horny.
Okay. Is it like...
I think she's wanting some. It sounds like she's doing something to you now. Buddy, don't worry about it. You did great.
I'll give you guys a ring back.
I love you, man. I love you, Jeff. You're awesome. Everybody loves you. Apocalypse, shout out to Apocalypse, shout out to A-Hill Skeptic. Stabby McHugs, Darren, Dennis, Debbie, everybody in the chat room. You had listeners. And I got Darren right here, actually, if you want to talk to him. He's on the line. Darren, you there?
I'm here.
All right. Okay. Darren, can you? This is my co-host, Darren. Jeff, you still there? I think his wife attacked him, Darren. My God. Just when you, I just noticed you were there. But I think he got usurped.
Were they? I'm glad you moved over here. Laugh.
I moved over here so we have control. It was a raging, chaotic mess over there.
I think you have control over there too.
Yeah, but I don't know how to do it. I expect you guys. You know what? I have enough trouble here, so I basically count on you guys doing that for me.
Gotcha. Well, that's what Apocalypse is supposed to be for.
Willie's there too, so shout out to Willie. And there you go. I got some scientific research guy on here, man. This was the best. I got one of the best of the best. That was Jeffrey Boyd Jr., ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna have to listen back to this one. It was lucky I had him on. I worked my ass off getting this guy on here. And it was just unexpected. I was going to play a different show actually tonight. And I'll play this one after. And yeah, we're going to have fun tonight. I'm not done yet. And Jeff's probably going to not come back because I'm sure that he's going to pass out. Yeah, see? Yeah. He said 1 sec. So he might come back. Okay, well, we're going to check out now. What did you think of that, Darren? Did you hear that?
I didn't hear any of it.
Oh, my God. So what he did was confirm our cymatic results of the pyramid. And this guy,
crap.
and he's a listen to this. He's a LiDAR specialist. And he's gone around the world and actually done tests. And he's friends with people like Klaus Dona. Yeah. Okay. And the other guy, our friend that we talked to on Richard's show, that the Bosnian pyramids, Osvanovic.
Dr. Stan?
Osvanovic. He's friends with him too. He can go and stay at he can go stay at their houses. Okay, and he's gone to Egypt and stayed with people there. The top researchers he's friends with all around the world with the pyramids. So I had someone talking here.
Did you ask him? Did you ask him about the pyramid in Bosnia?
I didn't get that far, but he's going to be back. He wants to come back on our show. I've been trying a long time. It's really weird because I thought, I had this thing on my Facebook. It said the stream, and it said Jeff something. So I thought, okay, that's Jeff the Gray. So for a long time, I looked at it and I was confused. That doesn't seem to be Jeff the Gray. What is this? I didn't know what it was. Somebody put me in this Facebook group. Later on, I figured it out. Oh my God, that's Jeff Boyd Jr.'s fucking that. When he started sending me personal messages to Wolfman Mike, and then I realized who it was, and I can't believe I ignored him for that long. I ignored him for about a year. This guy. But now I've been trying to get some really good guys. Willie said. He's the new director, so Willie told me to get some science. There you go. I got fucking science for you. There you go.
Willie needs to come in and tell us how we did.
Well, he's going to tell me how I did. I fucking did it all myself. No help.
You did.
Yeah, so don't tell the fucking Wolfman shit anymore. I didn't put no garbage in. It was all science. A couple laughs here and there, but that's it, Okay, He's giving me a link. Give me a sec here, Darren. These stairs deeper. Hey, I'm gonna. Hey, thanks, bro. And we're gonna have you back, please. Just have a rest for now. And thank you very much. My fans love you. There you go. I sent that to him right there. How's that? He did enough, man. The guy needs sleep. You know how many shows he does? One after another, podcast after podcast. His wife, I heard her in the background saying, "Get off the phone!" Bleh. You know what I mean? Go, okay, go. And my server crashed 3 times while I was trying to do that. Again, every time I have a good guess, it's crash. So I figured it out, and I just don't go. I don't go on the internet on that computer anymore. That's all it's going to do now is broadcast. I'm not going to try to look at Twitter or anything. I'm going to use that one screen for absolutely nothing else but looking at my levels. And that's it.
I think I should start getting Saturday nights off again.
Yeah, well, I have a guest for tomorrow. I got a big-time guest for tomorrow, yes. Tomorrow night, we got Ronnie Dawson and his clairvoyant friend, Patricia. And he wants to update us with all his shit. So after this, what I want to do is play the one from Jim Marlin. I would like to, because most people haven't heard this interview. It's this year's, and this is a really good one, and it should be in my archives, and it's not. And the only way for me to get it back is to play it for you and live record it. So, so I can start playing that right now, the Jim Marlin one, if you guys want to hear that.
Sure.
Do you want to hear that, Darren?
I want to hear that, Wolfman.
Oh, you're going to love this. This is Jim Marlin. You know who that is? You know how hard it was for me to get this interview? All these ones.
I was there. I remember.
Dude, guess what's coming up next? I got a remote viewing guy. I got more with the pyramid guy, Jeffrey Boyd, and I also have all kinds of paranormal groups that want to be on the show too. Crazy, weird paranormal groups. So we're in for some treats coming up. And Wolfman's getting booked, man. I'm getting booked again. I'm not having a hard time doing it. So we're going to have a lot of guests. All I had to do was try.
All right.
That's all I had to do, Darren. Try. You try and something happens. Yeah. It's Wolfman Mike, and this is Darren, the man of 1,000 questions. And we're going to have a lot of questions, Darren, for these people, aren't we? Right on. All right. It's the team, man. This is Wolfman Mike and Darren, the man of 1,000 questions. How you doing, Darren?
I'm doing good. I'm driving. Sorry for the noise.
Do you have any questions for us?
Do I have any questions for who?
Me.
Where have you been the last few days?
Researching paranormal events. The moon, by the way, had an impact during the eclipse.
Did it really?
Yes. You didn't know?
No.
Okay, there was 2 anomalies during the eclipse of the moon. There was 1 impact, if not 2, on the. Okay, if you were viewing it, it would be your left-hand side, right around the middle, and 1 towards the top. Anyways, could have been a sideward impact, or else a light from the moon. Scientists say it was a small meteor. There's really no explanation for it. Nobody knows what happened. A light bursted forth from the eclipsed left side of the moon. I can't give you the exact time right now. If you look it up, you'll find out. All you have to
Was
do.
it on the edge?
It was on the edge. Yes. A little bit in from me. I would say, like, if you looked at the moon and it looked like 10 centimeters wide, it was 1 centimeter in.
Oh, so it wasn't all the way on the edge.
Not right on the edge, no. So it kind of made me think that can't be a meteor because the Earth would have been shielding it. It has to come in from the exact side. There's only maybe a 10% possibility of a meteor hitting the moon on that angle, and you know that, right?
If you look at the Earth, though, Wolfman, and the moon's pretty far from the Earth.
Okay,
It'd be
yes,
like,
but remember,
a basketball, and then 10 feet.
Remember, we're moving. Okay, so we're moving towards the sun, and the moon's right behind us. So that moon can't get hit by meteors. That's logic.
Perspective, though, you're looking at it because we're on the Earth.
Yeah, but we're moving pretty fast towards the sun.
Okay, think of a basketball, 10 feet, and then a softball. That's the Earth and the moon.
How does it even work? Okay. I don't know how to explain it to you, but if I was to fling it around on a rope, okay, we're going basically around the sun really fast. So if we, that's the wrong side. It should have got hit on the other side, Darren. If any side it should have got hit on, it's the other side. That side that it got hit on has been. No, dude. Now I can see it in my mind that there's no fucking way that a meteor could hit it there because of the Earth and the trajectory that we are going and where the moon is compared to where the fucking sun is. I've looked at it in several ways, and I've looked at it in several fucking ways. I tried to debunk myself, my theory, and my theory remains solid that is not a meteor impact. It's impossible.
Wolfman.
Sorry.
So the Earth blocks a lot of the meteors by the meteors hitting the Earth before they hit the moon.
No,
right?
dude, because we are because of the Earth covering the sun. If you think about the trajectory, it basically puts the Earth in a position that would block everything on the left side of the moon's surface that faces us at that point. And that's where the meteor was supposedly. Now, if it came from the right side, I would say, okay, that's a meteor.
Well, all I'm telling you is there's a lot of space and there's a lot of angles.
Okay, whatever. You know what? Sorry, but the way I look at it, unless we get a 3D rendition and like if we go to Star Trek shit, but I don't have that capability here to show that you know what I mean? But I have a hunch that was no meteor impact. And also, there was also another anomaly. There was we talked about it on the show. There was something hovering above the moon's surface on the left side. And it was a stationary object that did not move the stars. It was just hovering above the moon's surface. Probably something about a mile wide, I found out later. It was just sitting there. I don't know what that was. And who do we have here? Okay. So we jumped out of... I'm not sure if anybody's listening on Discord anymore. I had to dump him because he was getting echoed because he called in on Messenger. And it was given... Oh, so... Basically, yeah. So I can take out the echo on you right now. Mix minus you. So there you go. It's the same thing. If I have to take two lines and combine them, it's going to. I cannot mix minus that. No DJ can.
Why is it federal?
Now you're mixed minus. I'm sorry. If you ever hear the echo, I can take it out as long as I don't have a line to call combined with yours. I do it the old school way, and I don't know of any other way to do it. Same way Art Bell did it. Same way they do on Coast to Coast or any other show. The only difference is I let you swear. And you can actually fuck someone on the air, too. Hey, get out of the way. Oh, stop that. Oh, my God. You didn't have to do that. I didn't say shoot people. Fuck, get out of here. Fuck, man. Being shot at. Igor. Jesus Christ. All right. They're gone. Igor got rid of
Yeah.
Bad people are gone. It was a drive-by. They tried to shut me down. That's okay. Igor took care of that.
There's a lot of shows on.
Well, guess what? I am the best show, and it's coming on right now. Okay, let's do this.
Let's do this.
Okay, this is going to be really cool. We're going to stop it here and there, and if we want to discuss it, we can. I'll see if I can do this. All right, here it goes. What time is it? Right at... Oh my God, it's perfect timing. Oh yeah, it's 11:36.
We step out and take a walk through the city.
The views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the network or anyone affiliated. There will be mature and possibly immature content. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. As a matter of fact, I probably wouldn't listen at all. It's very poorly produced. Take me to your leader.
Welcome to the Monster Castle Radio Show. For the extreme paranormal listener. And here is your host, the Wolfman Mike.
This is where all rumors have.
dig it. Welcome to Monster Cast Paranormal, everybody. And stop that. Thank you. We got a very, very cool guest. And thanks so much. Jim, are you there?
I'm here.
Right on. Okay, we're going to start right into this because Jim's story is quite extensive. And I don't think a lot of people have heard this before. Yeah, it's a little early, we're being told, but we got, Eric's in the chat room and A-Hole Skeptic. Jim used to be a road manager for Willie Nelson, which is pretty cool. And that's probably lots of stories already to go with there, and probably a lot of, like, smoking pot and stuff. So, yeah, I think everybody should start out by smoking a big doob, relax, and then, Jim, can you tell us a little bit about yourself besides that?
Well, there's too much to tell, actually.
He's the
but
one.
I actually wasn't. I wasn't really Willie Nelson's road manager. I was his promoter.
Oh, okay. Sorry, pretty close.
I put the concerts together and promoted them, put tours together, things like that.
Oh, okay. So, and I couldn't find you anywhere on social media. You're not even are you on Facebook or Twitter or anything?
No, I've grown old.
You just keep, yeah. You're pretty private.
I'm technologically challenged.
Yeah, I hear you. So you have been numerous abductions throughout your life. You have possession of a spherical, metallic, sort of strange object that possibly could have been dropped from a unidentified flying object from possibly.
That's where it came from.
Yeah. Can you start by telling us all about that? Was that on your ranch?
No, it was in New Mexico. It's on my ranch now, but it was a friend of mine who lived way out in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico. Had $1 million adobe home, and he took me out to his house one day, and there was a pile of these steel spheres in his yard, which I asked him, what in the heck they were and where they came from, and he said, "I'd tell you, but you wouldn't believe me." And I said, "Well, try me." And he said, "Well, there was a UFO came over the house and dropped them out right there, and they've been laying there ever since." And I talked him out of one of them, and I've had it for many years. And I had it on a stand. And one day, Ronnie Dotson decided he wanted to run some tests on it, and we took it off the stand and put it on the floor. And it sat there for a few minutes, and then it started moving around. And so we got the camera out and filmed it, and it was pretty amazing. It just defied the laws of physics. And I'd never seen it move around before because I never put it down before. So that was kind of a surprise. And Ronnie did a bunch of tests on it and videotaped them. He put a Tesla coil underneath it and shot 100,000 volts into the bottom of it. And he put a test bulb, a light bulb for testing, like you see a picture of Tesla holding this big light bulb. It was like that. And we checked it and it worked. And then he touched it to the top of the sphere and it wouldn't light up. And that kind of was surprising because you'd think stainless steel would be conducting electricity. But he ran some more tests with some different equipment. And he said, this thing is not conducting electricity, it's absorbing it. So it's kind of a mystery object. We don't really understand that much about it. But I have seen a picture years ago on the front page of the Fort Worth Star Telegram. And there was a picture. It was a picture of several of these spheres, and they said they were slightly larger than a bowling ball, which is what mine is, and it weighs 50 pounds. And they said that the government was missing a bunch of them, and that they used them to store plutonium in. So I really think that's what it is, but I really have no idea. But it's a mysterious object for sure.
So, it absorbs electricity and moves around by itself. Does it give off any kind of vibration?
I've never detected any kind of vibration off of it. I've checked it for that, and Ronnie never found anything like that either. Although we have, it does have radiation. It is radiating energy. And in fact, when I first got this sphere, I was living in Taos, New Mexico, and there is an ashram. Tibetan monks have an ashram there in Taos because it's on the exact opposite side of the planet from Tibet.
Yeah.
But anyway, they came out to my house to visit me, and they saw this sphere, and they just went crazy. They said it told me it was radiating energy, and I said, I can't tell that. How can you tell that? And they said, well, we can tell it's radiating energy. And they wanted me to give it to them to take to the Dalai Lama so he could maybe figure out why it was radiating energy. And because they said they were just getting ready to go to visit the Dalai Lama. And
Where was this? Where was this? Sorry, where was this? Where did you meet these guys?
In Taos, New Mexico.
Okay, so there was some monks there.
Yeah, kind of shocking deal, but
okay.
Anyway, I told them that I refused to, let them take it. So they got out this camera equipment and video equipment. They took pictures of me in the sphere to take to the Dalai Lama. So the Dalai Lama's got a picture of me in the sphere.
Oh boy!
Which is
pretty
cool. Strange.
So yeah, they really like yours. The Dalai Lama likes you.
Well, I've never had any contact with him, but just the monks. But they actually told me, I said, that's a long trip, isn't it? And they said, actually, it's pretty quick. And I said, how could it be quick? And they said, well, we actually passed through the planet. And, they're monks. Surely they wouldn't lie to you, but,
What?
It's kind of a strange thing. Yeah, they claim that they passed through the planet. Tibet was on the exact opposite side of the planet from Taos, New Mexico. And that's why they had their ashram in Taos.
Well, that's pretty weird.
And I was living in Taos because my extraterrestrial friends had me move there because that's where their number one base in this country is in Taos, New Mexico. Strangely enough, you don't hear anything about that. But, I lived there off and on for years, and I've watched them go in and out of this mountain that the Indians own that nobody else can go on to.
Yeah, you told me about
There's a
this
lake
mountain.
in the top. There's a lake at the top of the mountain, and they go in and out of the lake.
Whoa. Okay, so they use the lake to go through the center of the earth. You're telling me?
No. That's the monks. The monks go through the earth. The extraterrestrials live inside the mountain, and they go into the mountain through the lake.
Okay. Sorry, I was getting the two stories confused. I was also going to ask you, how did you get to know Ronnie Dawson?
Wow, let's see. I'm not sure. It's been a while. We've known each other for a while now. It seems like somebody put us together. Somebody that knew we were, had some things in common. We should talk. So
yeah, sometimes when weird things happen. That's why I called you the other night. I had all this weird stuff happening to me, and I needed somebody to talk to that's gone through similar things to calm me down.
Yeah, I understood that. Believe me. And I have a ranch out in the middle of nowhere, and for some reason they seem to be here pretty regular. I watch them play with military jets all the time.
Do you think that
just recently I've?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think that it's recently? Do you think it's getting more frequent, or I've heard that like there's more of an uprising of sightings lately in the last week?
Well, I'm not surprised at that, but they've been pretty consistently here. The longest I've gone without seeing them has been 6 months, and that's pretty rare. And this last time it was a 3-month gap before I saw them again. But I see them up close, and for some reason they're here. I don't know why, but they're here.
Wow. So did you go on a Blog Talk radio show earlier today?
No, I did not.
Okay. Somebody in the chat room thought they heard you. Okay, that's all right. Sorry, Stabby, you're wrong. Stabby McHugs. Shout out Stabby McHugs. Shout out to Eric. Shout out to A-Hole Skeptic. I haven't even checked who's all in Twitter listening to us anyways. Go ahead, I'm interrupting the train of thought here. I'm going to have to find our railway back. Okay. They're saying that Tibet and New Mexico are north of the equator and therefore not quite opposite. Wait. Forget I said anything. He says, forget I said anything. Continue, please.
Continue, please?
Yeah, continue, please. He says, forget it. Wait a minute. Never mind. Forget I said anything. Continue, please.
Okay. I actually wanted to tell you about some of the things that they taught me, which is pretty incredible. I've never talked about this, but before my first meeting with them as an adult, they sent various beings into my life to prepare me for this meeting. And these people all had incredible abilities. The first person that they sent into my life, I was told that I needed to meet this person in San Marcos, Texas, that he wanted to do an outdoor concert, and he had the concert site, he had the money, he just needed somebody that knew how to do it, how to promote it, hire the bands and market the thing. So I went over and talked to the guy, and I met him in a bar, and we had a couple of drinks, kind of checked each other out, and then I got him to ride with me, and we went to his house where we could talk privately. And when we got to his house, he lived in an ancient duplex that the paint was wore off of, the screens were rusted off of, and I'm thinking, what the heck? This guy claims he's got the money to do a major outdoor concert. I was kind of wondering what was going on. We went in the house, and he introduced me to a friend of his who was reading the Bible, and his wife, who was probably one of the most beautiful women I'd ever seen in my life. And this guy was very plain looking, and they had a 1-year-old baby, and the baby was beautiful. And he told me right off the bat, he said, Jim, all we need you to do is organize this thing, hire the bands, and market it. He said, you don't have to worry about selling tickets. He said, I'll use my powers to draw people to the concert. And I went, you'll what? You'll use your powers? And he said,
my!
If you're gonna be a part of this, you have to know that this is for real. So he said, I'm going to give you a demonstration that we don't normally show anybody. And he had me walk across the room from him. We were about 20 feet apart, and he held his hand up, and I felt electricity shoot all over my body. It was astounding. I mean, I was shocked. how could somebody do something like that? And then we started talking about the concert.
Maybe with a taser. Do you think he just had a taser in his pocket or something?
Yeah. He was 20 feet from me, man. He just waved his arm at me.
He waved his arm, and did you hear anything when he did that? Like, or see any sparks?
Not a.
You didn't.
Nothing.
You didn't hear this.
No sound.
Sound. Like that.
No, I didn't hear any sound at all. I just felt electricity all up and down my body.
Okay, it didn't hurt or anything, eh? Did it? Like that? No. Okay, good. I'm glad you were okay.
They weren't doing it. They weren't doing this concert to make money for themselves. They wanted to use the money to help humanity, and they were very serious about this. Now, I was kind of shocked, but anyway, we talked for a while, and then I had to take him back to his car at the bar. And on the way back to the bar, I ran over this Jack Russell Terrier that ran out in front of me. And I had a big Cadillac. And I wiped this dog out. I stopped the car in the middle of the road and ran back to where the dog was at. He was laying there flopping around, convulsing, bleeding, and dying. And the people who own the dog came out into the street, and we're standing there watching this dog die. And I said, gosh, I'm sorry. I wish there was something I could do. And this friend of mine got out of my car and walked up beside me, and he held up his hand over the dog. The dog quit bleeding, quit convulsing, stood up on its legs and looked at him right in the eyes. He dropped his hand. The dog ran back up into the yard like nothing was wrong with it. And these people said, how'd you do that? And he took off running back to my car, and he said, let's get out of here. And so I ran back to my car, and we drove off. And I said, how did you do that? And he said, Jim, your subconscious mind witnessed that. If you ever have to heal anybody, you can. And he was right. I was able to, in the years to come, I've healed several people. My first healing was actually a dog.
So did you do like what the guy did, like wave your hand and have some kind of electricity come off? Is that what you mean, or how do you do it?
No, I actually didn't understand how it worked. I just knew I could do it, and I could do it.
Was it after this? After this guy did
it worked.
Do you think it's because this guy did something to you, or was he just demonstrating like electricity? No. Or do you think he did something to you right there?
Because when the aliens finally started communicating with me, they told me that all humans have mental abilities that we do not use, that we're not aware of. And they told me that we had the ability to heal and that we could create our own reality, which I realized I've been doing my whole life. And that there was really no limit to what we could do with our minds. Well, I ended up, I took a hammer blow to the head. It was actually a flaming axe, and it punctured my skull, and I lost a large chunk of my left brain, which left half my body paralyzed for years. And the doctor said that it would never come back, and just to get used to it. And I was having grand mal seizures, too. So I was in really bad shape. But one day I met this lady who had a Mexican restaurant, and we got to talking, and she told me she had a brain tumor. Well, I've managed to get my right leg working, but I couldn't get my arm to work. And she gave me this book, and she said that this friend of hers had given her this book and told her that if she could read it and understand it, she could cure this brain tumor. And she told me that she read the book and it didn't make any sense to her. So she gave it to me, and she said, maybe you can understand it. Maybe you can heal yourself. So I took the book home and read it, and I was amazed. It explained how I was using my mind to heal. It explained, it was absolutely the most amazing book I'd ever read. And it looked brand new. It looked like it just been come off the printing press. And I looked in the front of the book, and it was a first edition printing, and it was printed in 1905. And the name of the book was the Edinburgh Lectures, and it's by Thomas Trower, and you can buy it off the internet today. And it's called it's about mental science, and it's a book on how to use your brain to do just about anything. It's truly the most amazing book I've ever read. And I used what I'd learned to heal my arm up and to stop my seizures. And then I went back to this restaurant, and I was going to heal this lady's brain tumor for her. But she had died. By the time I got there, she'd already died. But she pretty much saved my life by giving me that book.
Oh, that's an incredible story, man.
It is. It's amazing, and everybody should read this book.
What was it called again?
I gave it to a friend of mine. It's called the Edinburgh Lectures, and it's by Thomas Trower.
Is that
Thomas
the
Trower,
author?
Troward.
Okay.
That's the author, yes. He has several books, and they're all amazing. This guy must have been incredibly enlightened. It was kind of a difficult book for me to read, but
somebody from the chat room will look it up. They'll probably post it in Twitter or somewhere really soon here, I expect.
I think everybody should read this book because it's truly amazing.
So what did you learn from the book that changed your life?
Well, it explained to me how to heal, how to use your mind and your subconscious mind to heal. The subconscious mind is the healer of the body. And when I heal somebody, I'm actually not healing them myself. What I'm doing is communicating with their subconscious mind, and their subconscious mind heals them, not me. I'm just getting their subconscious mind to do that because they're not aware of the fact that they could do it themselves.
Yes, I understand. I don't even want to say, but I've healed people, but I've done that too. I've healed people, but I don't know how I do it. I just put my hands on them and I go to the spot. I can just sense where there's a problem. Can you do that?
Can I do what?
Can you sort of zone in without them telling you and just feel it, their area of something wrong in their body, or do people have to tell you what's wrong?
No, I don't have to know what's wrong, but they have to be open to be healed. They have to be open to the fact of being healed. Sometimes that's difficult.
I guess I didn't say it right. What I'm wondering is, like, say you walk into a room.
Don't believe in this.
Say you walk into a room with people that do believe in this. Would you be able to just pick it up and just say, "Hey, buddy, there's something wrong with your back right there," or whatever?
Yes.
You can? Wow.
Yes, I recently healed a friend of mine of throat cancer. And
he didn't have a clue? What's going on here?
Well, no, he came to my house and he told me what was wrong with him. I mean, I hadn't seen him in a while. He'd lost a lot of weight and he looked really bad and couldn't hardly talk. And he didn't realize that I had those abilities. And so I healed him, and I told him he was healed. And
hello?
And he called me a week later. Hello,
you're on.
You still there?
Yeah, we got a guest. My friend Eric's here too.
No, just let him finish his story,
yep.
And then I'll
just go ahead. Ignore this man, Jim. Just keep talking.
Okay. Well,
sorry.
I remember where I was
at. You were. Geez, man, it kind of screwed me, threw me off too. You were talking about when you were healing people, the man of throat cancer.
Yeah, and that was just recently. And he called me back a week later, and he said, "Thank you. I can't thank you enough. I don't have cancer anymore." He said, "I can't believe it." He said, "How'd you do that?" So
Wow.
I told him to come read the book.
Okay.
But,
Did
I've healed
anyone
several
get
people
that?
with terminal cancer.
Did anyone get that in the chat room yet? I'm just looking. What was the name of the author again?
Thomas Troward.
Yeah.
Troward.
Troward. What? Someone just kicked me out.
Troward. Trowd. I can't even spell it now. ARD.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on. I had to refresh my page for some.
It's
Hey, while he's refreshing, I want to ask a question, sir, if I could.
Okay.
Are you familiar with a lady? Her first name slips my mind, but her last name is Meredith. She's a healer. She lives in Los Angeles. I've heard what you're sharing tonight. I've been researching for a few years, and I've heard many, many people talk about this. So for that reason, my rational mind tells me that what you're sharing, although probably the 99% of people that might hear this for the first time, they might think this is just beyond their comprehension, but there is a reality to this. So what I'm trying to figure out is, when did you realize, at what point in your life, whether it was a childhood or what, did you realize that you had this gift, this ability, this perception, whatever you want to label it, but this understanding of this reality?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard the first part yet. How old were you when that happened, when you first found out, when you healed that dog?
Oh, I was in my late 20s, actually.
Wow, that young, eh?
It was not long after they contacted me and told me that I had these abilities. And, since I'd already seen this friend of mine heal this dog, I knew it was possible. And strangely enough, my first healing was a dog.
There's nothing wrong with that. I've seen people heal like birds and stuff right in front of me with a broken wing, and they just hold it, and it's boom, the bird flies away. So I believe in it.
Well,
I've seen it happen. I've done things myself, so I absolutely believe in you. I'm right with you. We don't have a skeptic in the room except maybe Eric and a few people in the chat room, maybe. But I think that's amazing, man.
Yeah, it is. And, like I said, I've healed several people with terminal cancer, and that's because they're easy to heal, because they're really desperate and they want to be healed so bad that they're open to whatever. So they're really easy to heal.
Animals, yeah, because the animals can see ghosts. They don't. You lose their childhood. The way their soul was so innocent when they were born. They keep it.
And I've healed total strangers before. In fact, one time I had a couple come up to me and say to me, "You're a healer, aren't you?" And that totally blew me away. I have no idea how they knew that. But they were a young couple, and the girl was pregnant, and she had terminal cancer, and she was going to die of cancer before she had the baby. And they were just extremely emotional about the whole thing. And I got up and I said, "Yes, I am a healer." And I put my arms around her and I said, "You no longer have cancer, and you're going to have that baby, and everything will be fine." And they had no doubt that I had healed her. They absolutely had no doubt.
That is great.
Another time, a friend of mine told me that this friend of hers had terminal cancer, and she had 5 kids, and she only had 6 months to live. And so we went to see her, and I was just introduced to her, and I shook hands with her. And when I shook hands with her, I healed her, but I didn't tell her. I didn't say a word to her. I just told my friend after we left that I had healed her. So, she's going to be fine. And so, my friend called me back a week later and said that, "I just wanted to tell you, I went by and visit my friend, and I told her that you had healed her, and she started crying, and she said, I went to the doctor 2 days ago, and they told me they couldn't find a trace of cancer in me anywhere. And
Jim,
I didn't even tell her I did.
You're gonna have everybody coming down to your ranch to get healed now, after telling us,
Well,
everybody.
Coming up in a moment is Jeff the Gray.
This is the Monster Castle Paranormal Radio Show. We explore the paranormal phenomenon with researchers and skeptics from all walks of life and beyond. Fridays and Saturdays, 9 p.m. Pacific.
I got the times wrong on that commercial. We're probably I'm usually 11 p.m. Eastern time, but tonight because some of my guests they want to come on a little earlier. I do. In this case, I'm not going to miss out for this interview with Jim Marlin. Everyone, if you just joined us. Jim, hey, can you tell us? You were going to talk to me about that. What you said you never talked about before. How they interact with in your head when you communicate with the others.
Well, they sent a person into my life earlier who taught me telepathy, and it's something that we can all do, but we had to practice for a while. But after a little practice, we got really good at it, and eventually, that's how they communicated with me was through telepathy.
Yeah, see, that's why I called you the other night. That's exactly. And then you said, "Hey, maybe I could talk a bit about that." So maybe that's what we should talk about next. I don't know.
Well,
I don't want to throw you off what you were talking about, though. Doesn't matter to me.
Well, I'll tell you about another unusual person that came into my life, and I think the reason this person came to my life was just to prove to me that things that we think are not possible are possible. But I was in Taos, New Mexico, visiting a friend, and there was about a foot of snow on the ground when I got there. And it ended up about 3 foot of snow on the ground. And so we were kind of snowed in, and somebody knocked at the door. And my friend said, "My God, who'd be out in this kind of weather?" And so we got the door open and got this guy in, and he was like 6'5", had shoulder-length hair, and he had nothing on but a loincloth. He had no shoes on, nothing but a loincloth. And there was 3 foot of snow on the ground. And he didn't seem to be cold at all. And the guy was very intelligent. And he visited with us for a couple of hours, and then he said, "Well, I've got to get back up in the mountains before it gets too late." He said, "I'm staying with some Indians higher up in the mountains." And he just took off through 3 foot of snow with nothing but a loincloth on, headed up into the mountains. It was mind-boggling. And I eventually hired this guy to work a concert, an outdoor concert I did. And I hired a couple of hot air balloons to film from. And we got one of them up early in the morning, and we were filming from the balloon, and we looked down, and this guy's running through the desert, through cactus, rock, everything, and he's barefooted, nothing but a loincloth on. I mean, he's not even looking where he's running. He's looking up at the balloon. It's just, you go, how can this guy do this? And so, I've seen so many things that just seem impossible, but they happen. And I
actually,
checked,
yeah, I'd have to agree with you.
I checked to find out, I asked, whatever happened to this guy? And my friend told me that he was a stockbroker on Wall Street. That just blew my mind as well.
And the other guy that you met that waved his hand with the electricity, didn't you tell me that later on one time you met him and he revealed what he really was and showed you his spaceship? Is that the same guy?
No.
Oh, I thought that was that guy. I was just guessing.
Different deal.
Oh, wow.
This is Wolfman Mike.
So you met lots of weird people.
Yeah, I've met many extremely unusual, gifted people.
That's strange. I wonder why.
I think they came into my life to prepare me for my first meeting with these extraterrestrials. It all made it that much easier because I was prepared.
Yeah, it's almost
because
like
another
there's
person came into my life and showed me my first UFO. You know, just a year before I had my first contact with them.
Do you think it's all planned? Do you think it's all part of a plan?
Yes,
it almost
I do.
seems like it's planned out for us.
Well, they told me that they'd given me information that I couldn't access until it was time, whatever that means.
Wolfman, can I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Sir, I'm sorry. What's your first name, sir? I apologize.
It's Jim.
Jim, do you know? Do they communicate with you? What star system? Are we talking about Pleiadians possibly, or is this another group maybe? Or can you elaborate on that?
Are you talking to me or somebody else?
Oh, he was asking you which group of aliens that communicate with you.
They told me they're from the Pleiades star system.
Yeah, you got it, Jared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, you
That's
freaked
the
me out, man.
message.
You got it.
There's a lot of
Eric.
Pleiadian communication. Have you been to Sedona, Arizona, by chance, sir?
Have you been to Arizona? Maybe I got to turn you up.
I don't hear him right now. I hear you, but I don't hear him.
Jim?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't hear him either.
Oh, okay. You can't hear him very well. I turned him up a bit.
Yeah, I'm just trying to ask him if he's had experiences in Arizona or where he might have experienced the Pleiadian contact. Because I'm just trying to Nevada. I'm just trying to figure. It's part of the puzzle.
Okay.
Yeah, he's asking you whereabouts that was. With the Pleiadians. He's familiar with the Pleiadians. And he's trying to track it down, so he's wondering where that was.
Well, I was in California at the time, and I actually met a man out in California who owned all the TV and radio stations in New Zealand. And he told me that he was communicating with some beings from the Pleiades star system as well. And he was also building a landing area in New Zealand for them.
Can you say his name?
What now?
Oh, can you say his name? I wonder why he can't hear you. That's strange.
No, I honestly don't remember it. It's been too long ago.
Oh, okay.
But he owned all the TV and radio stations in New Zealand.
Wow.
Surely, you can figure that out. Find him from that.
And
this is Wolfman Mike.
There's
I'm
so many ways
outside
we can
of the
go with
building,
this.
and I'm
I mean,
seeing UFOs.
I just want to know what compels you to even want to share your information, your experiences publicly. I mean, what is your motivation and your interest in humanity?
Could you hear him there, Jim?
These beings gave me a mission, and they told me that they wanted me to tell everybody that I could that they were real and they existed, and that the Earth was going to go through a lot of disasters. And they told me this in 1976, and all these disasters would just continue to get more intense and more intense. And in 2012, I was kind of in the depression that something really big was going to happen in 2012. And they said that if I would tell people about this, that they couldn't just come down and land because most people would go insane. But if I told people this story, that when they came down and landed, they would think, oh, Jim said this was going to happen, and they would have a chance of being saved. Because they said that we are their children, and they plan on saving as many of us as they can from when the Earth is destroyed, which they think is going to happen. And I think it's It's a comet that's supposed to be coming back around. It's the comet that caused the Great Flood, and it's coming back around again, and it's in 2030.
Does this have anything to do with Nibiru?
Yeah, is that the planet?
Well, it's. I don't think it's the same, but you know, I've heard about Nibiru, of course, but I don't know if it's the same one. But I just finished a 4-inch thick science book on this about this comet that's coming back around in 2030, and how it caused the Great Flood. That it hit the polar ice cap and melted all the ice instantly, and it hit some of the mountains in Europe too, and melted all the snow, and it caused the Great Flood.
I can believe that.
It's coming back around in 2030.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let's just say hypothetically you are giving advice to humanity. Where in 2030 should people be to avoid the consequences, or is it just going to be inevitable for everybody?
I don't think there's going to be any place to hide. That's why they said they want to come down and save as many of us as they can when this happens.
Yeah, I had not a very good experience with what I was talking about earlier in the week. They gave me some kind of a download. This first time they ever talked to me telepathically. Freaked me right out. Anyway, what I seen was not really pretty. And it's going to be shocking and scary. I don't really know what's going to happen. I was shown the start of the event. There's going to be some explosions in the sky in the pattern of Draco. That's what I was told. And bunch of aerial explosions. I think it's already going on. Have you seen those, Jim? It looks like a cluster of little explosions in the sky.
No,
I
haven't seen anything like that.
What have you seen lately?
Lately, I've seen the UFOs out above our ranch playing chase with military jets.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
They do that pretty regularly around here. It's pretty unusual.
Are they different type of craft, or are they all different types of craft that you see, or just mainly one type? Or?
I'm seeing them at night, and it's just a white light, a bright white light. That's how they know we can't see anything, but when we look at white light, we can't see anything.
Yeah, so they kind of blind you.
So that they'll light up in this white light, and the jets will come after them, and then they'll cut the light out, and the jets can't seem to find them.
Where is this?
And then they'll
Sir, I'm sorry. Jim, where's this happening?
Again.
Where? I'm sorry.
Where is this happening?
Yeah.
Yes.
Central Texas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And actually, where I live where I live because they told me to live here. But they said this is going to be the only safe place on the planet when things go bad. And that's why they have me live here. And I have an alien friend that I grew up with. I didn't realize he was an alien until we were adults, and he lives very close to me as well.
Okay, Jim.
What
we're discussing so far this evening, I'm going to guess you're above 50 or 60.
Oh,
in
no,
that
he's
range,
older
sir?
than that.
Am I being reasonable?
Oh, he's older than that.
Okay. But, I mean, at what point in your life were you aware of this? I mean, I'm trying to determine, were you completely convinced that this was a reality, that this wasn't just something, the delusional fantasy that you were having?
Well, I realized it when they started communicating with me. I absolutely, totally realized it. Because I actually asked them while I was talking to them if they would come down and so my kids could see them and so that I could explain to my kids what they told me. And they said, sure. And the next day, they came to my house. I lived in Modesto, California, in the valley, town of over 200,000 people. And I was in the house with my kids and a friend that was visiting, and we heard it sounded like a jet helicopter landing in my backyard. So we ran out into the backyard, and there was this giant spaceship above my house. It was as big as it was as long as my block that I lived on. And when we went outside, it went dead silent. And I had two young boys, and one of them grabbed a hold of me, was shaking. The other one ran back in the house, so I had to go back in the house and get him and drag him back out. And then they were both holding on to me, shaking. And this giant craft is above us, and it's 3:00 in the afternoon. It's a summer afternoon.
Were there neighbors out?
I explained everything I could.
What year was this in?
I thought all my neighbors, and I figured everybody in that part of town would have seen it, but apparently nobody saw it. They seem to be able to block out people if they want to.
Wow. What year was that, sir?
This was in 1977, actually.
Wow.
That was my first contact with them. Well, my first contact as an adult. They'd been abducting me since I was a child. And they explained that to me.
Well, that's where we want to get to,
when I first started communicating.
Let's go back. Go ahead, Wolfman. That's where we want to go. That's where we want to hear, though, the childhood's experiences.
Yeah, that's where we were left off, somewhere in his 20s, and where he meets. He met some strange people. He was talking about this, the second one. Yeah. And then...
Were the Palladians... He said, I'm assuming they're the Palladians, and from what I've been told, or at least what I've heard, is they're very human-looking and very attractive. Am I on the same page with what you experienced?
Yeah, what did they look like?
If you're You're not. Who are you talking to, me or somebody else?
Oh, Jim. Sorry, we're confusing you. He's asking pretty much the same question. What did they look like, these Palladians?
Well, I asked them that, and they told me they looked just like me. They looked just like us. And
so you were right again.
And when I was being abducted as a child, they were the Greys, and they would come right through the wall and take me, and
Ooh.
But the Greys are androids.
Ooh, we don't like them.
They work for the Palladians.
Oh, they work for the Palladians.
Yeah, well, I think they created them.
Okay,
hold on. I have to, Wolfman. I apologize. I really, seriously, I'm going to send you a donation, Wolfman, of $100 just for allowing me the opportunity to ask questions tonight. I just want you to know right now I'm good for that.
Oh, you're awesome, buddy. You okay.
All right. Let me just, because, just
donating him the Awakening Man. All right. Thank you, Eric.
All right. Anyway, Jim, so I don't know if you also research this, but I am a researcher, and the reason I called in because the story you're sharing, I've heard multiple times. This is the first time I can recall hearing that the Palladians have their own set of organic robotoid, humanoid greys. I've heard that other races.
Right.
I mean, is it plausible that multiple races have their own set of greys, but they're not all performing the same function? I mean, does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
If you can elaborate, I'd greatly appreciate that.
I have encountered a reptilian on my place, and which was kind of shocking. It scared me to death. It was 7 foot tall, had a fin on top of its head, and it had some things sticking out from its cheeks. And it had real long arms. It was thin.
Yeah.
And that was when they took me for a week, every day for a week. These these reptilians did, and that hadn't been that long ago.
Hold on. What when you say not long ago, you talk about within the last 5 years or 10 years?
Eric, he still gets all the time.
The reptilians.
Are the reptilians
abducting
you
2 years
like
ago.
in the recent times?
No, it's been
in
a year
recent
ago.
years?
I think you tried to call me one night to be on your show.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that.
They'd been taking me every night.
Yeah,
and they took me that night, so I couldn't be on your show.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like the last time he was supposed to be on my show, he got abducted that night.
Wow.
He disappeared. He was not there, man. He wasn't. He was there, and then he wasn't there. He wasn't. Wow. He wasn't. He was gone.
Okay, Jim? Okay, Jim. This I don't mean this in a offensive or sarcastic manner. I'm just gonna come at you as if I was a straight skeptic, although I'm not personally. But I'm just gonna come at you for this. I mean, if you were listening to you speak to us currently, and you had no clue of any of this, I mean, can you understand how bizarre all this sounds? Do you even understand that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got family members that think I'm crazy, so I understand it completely.
Does that bother you, or how do you cope with that? Where you're having an experience and everyone thinks you're crazy.
Dude, that's why I called him. That is why I called him, because I needed somebody like Jim to talk to after what just happened to me. That's probably the way you dealt with it as well. You had to call somebody else that has gone through this shit. Am I right?
Yeah, I tried talking to anybody I could, trying to find out what I could find out. I researched everything I could. I talked to some of the top UFO researchers, and they all assured me that I was sane.
Have you talked to Daryl Sims?
He wanted me to go to Roswell with him and take my sphere. And I told him I really didn't want to do that. And he wanted me to...
I met him in Roswell, and we hung out with him and Clifford Stone. So if you really want to try to figure this out, I think Daryl Sims could help you. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Ronnie Dotson he sent me a link to a Daryl Sims radio show. And Daryl Sims was talking about a couple of people that had called him and said they'd been abducted and they had evidence. So he went to their house and interviewed them and hypnotized them, and then they gave him the evidence. And a couple of days later, this couple called him and said that there were 2 retired FBI agents at their house, going through their house looking for this evidence that they had. And they wanted to know what to do. And he said, well, put one up on the phone. And so one of the retired FBI guys got on the phone, and he said, look, I'm retired CIA. I'm not nothing. He said, you're a retired FBI. You're nothing. He said, you're working as a men in black for the government. You go around scaring people. And once he told me that, I started worried about them coming to my house. And I actually hid my sphere for a long time because I was afraid they were going to come get it.
Where did you originally come across this sphere that I missed that part. What is this thing, and when did you find it, and how did you get it?
I found it at a friend of mine in New Mexico, and he lived in $1 million adobe home out in the middle of nowhere. And I went out to his house one day, and he told me that a UFO came over the house and dropped him out in his yard. And he gave me one of them. And I've had it for a long time, many years.
Have you had, when you hold that thing in your hands or you're in the presence of it, have you had experiences that you didn't have when, you know what I'm saying? I mean, do you think this thing somehow is a communication device of some sort?
You know, I've wondered about that myself, and it possibly could be some kind of recording device. I've only had one weird experience with it, and I've never been able to figure this out. But I took it off the stand and I set it on the floor, on the carpeted floor. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was laying on the floor on my back with my feet on the sphere, rubbing my feet on the sphere. And it was like a bolt of lightning between my feet and the sphere, and I shot across the floor on my back. And I've never seen it do that before or since, but that's something we never could figure out. What caused that? How could that possibly happen?
Dang. And I put up pictures of it in Twitter of this ball on hashtag 47 Talk.
All right. I've had Ronnie Dawson had a film crew from Japan came to my house and filmed me in the sphere. And, they checked it for radiation, which it is radiating energy. And there's only one TV station in Japan, and that's the station that they have a sister station in L.A., and they sent the film crew out all the way from L.A. to Texas to film me in the sphere. And I had a friend of mine who's a head of the UCLA Film School. He was visiting me, and he filmed them filming me. And he said they were amateurs. And that's about all the sphere stories I've got, except for just the adventures of carrying it around with me. I took it on an airplane from California to Texas back in the early '90s. I had it in a bowling ball bag, and of course they ran it through their X-ray machine, and all the security people came out and checked it out and checked me out and held me up for a while. But they finally let me take it on the plane, which was kind of surprising. I'd never get away with it these days. But I took it on the plane and put it under my seat, and one of the stewardesses came down and said she'd have to move it up to the front. And so they moved it up to the front and of the plane, and we took off. And the stewardess came back there and told me that the pilot would like to talk to me. And so I thought, okay. So I walked up to the front of the plane, and the pilot is out of the cockpit, and he's sitting down holding my sphere. He's taking it out of the bowling ball bag, and he's holding it. And he asked me, he said, "What in the hell is this?" And I told him everything I knew about it. And he started telling me stories about UFOs that he said, "We see UFOs come up here all the time, flying right beside us." He said, "We're not supposed to talk about it, but we see them all the time." So he and I sat there and traded UFO stories for about 30 minutes. Then finally he said, "I guess I better get back in the cockpit." And so I went back to my seat,
that's wicked.
And the pilot brought me
That's a great
all the
story.
way to Austin, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
You probably can't say what airlines that was, or can you? Was it American Airlines?
Yeah, we want to fly with the crazy UFO pilot guy. Yeah, that guy, I want to go on his plane with and fly with the UFOs. We are at the top of the hour, folks. We're gonna have a little break if you want, Jim. To get washroom break.
Yeah,
we've been on for an hour, so
yeah.
I think it's time to give you a little break. You want to come back and talk some more a little bit after?
Maybe. Let's let me take a break, have a Shiner Bock, and I'll
do your Trinity. Something to drink, something to eat, and I'll play a song or two and some commercials, and then if you want to come back, we'll be here.
Okay.
All right. You don't even have to hang up.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim, for sharing your time with us. We appreciate it.
If you hang up, then I'll have to call you back. You might as well just leave it going.
Okay, I'll leave it going.
Okay, thanks. All right, everybody. Wasn't that awesome, Eric?
That was fantastic, dude. You scored.
My
Jim's
God,
up.
we're really lucky to have this, man.
That's the real deal. That gentleman's the real deal. I can just tell you right now.
Well, I've been wanting is the real to deal. have him on for so long, but can you dig it? This is Wolfman Mike, and I'm live right on. How you doing, you guys? Love you. I did the last time, man.
I thought you were joking, but I don't.
No, I wasn't joking. It's a real deal. I was being serious. I'm never serious. Fuck you.
There he is.
Fuck you. Only happens on digital radio, folks. This is where all the real freaks hang out.
I'm a clone. I'm good and I'm fine. I'm running more on the way. I'm chief doctor. He's on the line. We'll take incubation another day. I'm all alone, so are we all. We're all clones, all are one and one are all are one and one are all. We destroy the government, we're destroying time. No more problems on the way. I'm through, doctor, we don't need your kind. The other ones, ugly ones, stupid boys, wrong ones. I'm all alone, so are we all.
Okay, Neil, are you there, sir? Hello, Neil? What did you think of the guest? Neil! Mr. Neil, I'm here. I know you're there.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're in the dungeon. I gotta take you.
Oh, I was on mute.
Okay, I gotta take you to the dungeon. Okay, you're in the castle.
You what?
You are in the castle, sir.
Okay.
So
yeah,
what'd you think of all
yeah,
that
I was
shit?
listening to him.
Pretty wild, eh?
Well, yeah, we got a lot of proof, man.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a lot of evidence, man. You know?
Shit, dude. Yeah.
It's really. Yeah. But Mike, you know, what? Take a secret about where the ancient alien bases are. Everywhere they have a lake that is not man-made, like the Great Lakes and stuff. That's where the alien bases are.
So you don't think the Great Lakes are
You know what I'm
natural? You don't think the Great Lakes are natural?
No. No, they are natural. I'm talking about the ones that's man-made. It's not where alien bases are. It's the natural ones. Yeah, the Great Lakes are natural, man. It's too damn big, you know?
That's weird. So you're telling me it's where the natural things are? Okay, here we go.
Yeah, like Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know Salt Lake City very much.
Yeah.
Well, I've been smoking Camels for 20 years.
I actually saw a mothership go down in Salt Lake.
Yes, Camels are so mild that in a test of hundreds of people who smoke.
Have you ever seen any UFOs there?
Throat specialists making weekly examinations reported not one single case of.
What?
Have you seen UFOs there?
What you say?
UFOs at the lake.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm smoking marijuana. I'm smoking pot.
Okay.
Sorry.
It was
It's time to smoke
it was a
marijuana.
mothership.
You're back. Holy my God.
Yeah, it was a giant mothership.
Well, I'm back.
Kurt Green is Palladian, by the way.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah,
And he
Jim
should
might be able to
really
verify
be deleted. Like, I mean,
don't
like,
delete that. He's a Palladian. He just doesn't want anyone to know for some reason.
we have to delete everything. Everything has to be
delete
deleted.
it all.
Everything he's ever did.
He's got a reptilian hybrid gene in him, though. I think Kurt's a crossbreed hybrid reptilian Palladian, which is very rare. They only live in Tolleson, Arizona,
and he's also
in a trailer park down there by the river. That's where they live.
Yeah, and he probably also is like porcupine, an Aryan. Those blue feathered ones mixed into there.
Yeah,
a bit of
blue
that.
avian. Yep.
Blue avian. Yeah,
He's got a little blue avian in him.
Yeah, he also has some gray, the tall gray.
Yeah, a little bit, just a little.
Yeah, and a little bit of the tall white as well.
Well, yeah, I can see that.
All of it.
Stunted there.
Also, the little blue men, troll men.
Part of it there.
All of them. Every one of them. He's got all of them in him. He's a Heinz 57. I wonder. Wonder if he's still here. Sorry, Kurt. You're Heinz 57.
He might be on a break.
He's on break. Delete Kurt.
Oh, yeah. I think he is.
That's the guy. Yeah, he's still left it on. So
right on. Well,
that's good.
Well,
so he
so
should.
So once Jim's finished, what are you going to open up the lines, or should I have that guy Neil call in? Because he's got quite a story that.
Listen to this. This is when Eric introduced me to you, Neil.
It's Bruce May quality.
Well, I want to hear it then.
Oh, really?
Obviously, that's listen. This is when Eric introduced me to you.
Bruce May 2020.
Oh,
that way.
Yeah, this is Eric introduced and telling me about you before I knew you.
Younger
guy.
Jim, hopefully Jim will come back, but I'll send a message to this guy and see if I can get him to. Do you want him to call in on Skype, or should he call in on another number?
We'll figure that out.
All right. Well, you just let me know. I'll be on standby.
I can call people with my Skype credit, but they can't call me. So obviously Jim's not back on the show.
Okay, while you're talking to me, I'll send him a message just to see if he's even around.
From Jim. Yeah. We'll see what he has. If he's got Skype, he could call my Skype. Okay, well, he's right here. And how you doing? How you doing, Neil? Isn't that weird, eh? Eric's trying to introduce you on the show I was playing. And you're right here now. Isn't that coincidental? Or not? Is it or not? I find it quite weird myself. What are you doing? Pissing or doing a bong hit?
I don't hear myself talking. I thought that was recording.
Well, you're on the air now.
Listen to our recording.
Oh, well, we were listening. Yeah, I have magical abilities here. I'm a DJ. I can fool all you people. Yeah, I can fool you motherfuckers. You don't know what the fuck Wolfman's doing here. Sometimes I play an old show and I'll talk over top of it. I'm still in the chat room and it seems live, but that was one of my archives. Yeah, it was an archive interview with an amazing person.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted you to hear it, because
Eric,
it's
he actually
basically it's leading up to a guest.
Eric is a good judge.
Okay, yeah, he is. And he introduced me to you, and that's cool. I love that. He got us together, and I love that. He's a great man, and he knew that you and I would click, just like Jeffrey Boyd and I click. Now somebody else, I think I was Morticia that did that one and got us together, but it's smoke. Don't worry about it. Fucking get the smoke out, and then we'll heat up. It was. Here, I'll make some smoke for you. Okay. That was my landlord, and he's also my director. So he's probably gonna hit me in the head with something right now. If I don't get some guests and some donations, I'm gonna get evicted. That's what he said. So he's probably gonna hit me out on the. Yeah, he's got a frying pan right there. He's thinking about hitting me. Ow!
Well, we got some.
The way they speak to me is
We got some new. We got some news, Mike. We
Jesus.
found out about
Imagine we're in the kindergarten. We're 5 years
Whoa,
old.
whoa, Jim's back. Jim's back. Listen to this.
You're trying to explain so that
You gotta
they
be
can
kidding me.
visualize and kind of comprehend, somehow relate to how that even happens. I mean, without it sounding nuts.
I didn't think he was
You know what
coming
I'm
back, but he
saying?
did.
Do the best you can, Jim. Help us out, please.
Well, when the first night they started communicating,
This is wicked.
with
Okay,
me,
let's
I was
listen.
actually laying in bed thinking about a business deal I was working on, when suddenly this voice just came out of nowhere and started talking to me, and it was completely amazing. At first I didn't know what to think. But then
Did
they
it
explained everything to me.
did it sound like it was coming from in the room or like right in your head, or did you know it was somebody talking in your head? How do you perceive it?
It was in my head. It was definitely in my head. There was no voice, it was all just mental.
Was it like thoughts, or there was not words? Then it was like pictures and thoughts and emotions, sort of.
No, it was like somebody was talking to me.
Oh, actual words.
Well, did it sound like it was a male
my
or
wife
a female, or could you
right
even
next to me.
discern at all what type of voice? How would you describe it?
It sounded like a male, and and in fact, when I was going to college, I had a major problem, and I prayed to God to help me solve this problem, what to do, how to solve this problem. And this voice spoke to me and told me what to do, and it didn't make any sense, but I thought it was God speaking to me, so I did what I was told, and all my problems were solved. And of course, I went down and joined the church, and I didn't find what I was looking for there. When these beings started communicating with me, it was the same voice, and they told me that it was them that told me what to do and solved my problem. It wasn't God.
Wow.
They've been
Was
with
it a
me all my
Catholic
life.
church? I'm just curious. Was that a Catholic church that you originally visited, or a different type of church?
No, it was a Methodist. I grew up in the Methodist church.
It didn't help him at all. Sorry.
But
Jim, I got a question for Jim.
but
In your personal opinion, do you think,
okay,
in general, religion is used as a mind control tool for various races of beings or whatever? I'm just saying, do you think religion is used as a mind control tool?
they told me that they created religion. That Jesus was their guy. They were trying to tame us savage humans with religion, trying to control us through religion. And they also told me that they had the body of Jesus Christ in a pyramid, in a golden pyramid in the mountain in Taos, New Mexico.
Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask about too. Yeah. Did you hear that? That's wicked. The
I have
golden.
not heard that. Is that new news, or has that been around a while?
The only person I've heard it from is Jim. Not many people know this. And this is one of the messages they gave him. There's a golden pyramid inside the mountain in Taos, New Mexico. And it has the body of Jesus Christ.
Contains the body of Jesus Christ. I actually went to the Navajo medicine man and talked to him. And I asked him, I said, I have one question for you. Can you tell me what's inside the Magic Mountain? And he smiled at me and he said, inside the Magic Mountain is a golden pyramid, and inside the golden pyramid is the body of Jesus Christ. And, he just verified what they had told me. And,
have you heard of a man named Clifford Mahooty? He's an Indian shaman from Arizona.
No, I don't know.
All right. No, I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Now I had a film crew that filmed me for 5 days. They were making a documentary, and I told them about the Navajo medicine man, and they said they were going to Santa Fe to see the Hopi medicine man. So they said they'd stop in Taos and see the Navajo medicine man and talk about, all this stuff. And they did. And they called me and said that both of the medicine men backed up everything I said and verified everything I told them.
Now, do you have Indian
The Indians are
heritage in your
completely aware.
bloodline?
Well, wait a minute. So both people confirm the same story. That's pretty cool, Eric.
I have Apache, Comanche, Cherokee, and Choctaw in me.
There you go.
That
explains it all.
That's the reason they had been with me all my life, is because of my Native American genetics, and because I have a rare survival gene, which they said was very important to their survival.
Wow.
And I have survived. I've cheated death so many times it's mind-boggling. I mean, I'm missing most of my left brain, and if you didn't know that, you couldn't tell it.
Wow. Now, do you have existing bloodline, like
my surgeon
brother,
told me
sister,
that
daughter,
I should be
son,
dead.
that it still exists?
No.
Do you have any
Say
siblings?
that again, please.
Do you have any siblings? Or anyone with the bloodline?
I have a brother, yes. I have a brother, but he's apparently they have no interest in him for some reason.
Doesn't mean,
got the same genes that I did.
That's right. It's a rare recessive gene. That's pretty wild. What blood?
You might have been one of those. I mean, I shouldn't say. I need to rephrase this politely, but in a sense, you're kind of a genetic hybrid. Is that maybe accurate?
Yes. According to them, that's right.
Wow.
There's very rare.
That's DNA shit, man. DNA
probably
technology.
less than 1%.
They steal in their DNA.
I mean, really less than 1%.
Oh, yeah, really less than 1%. Yeah, because really 1% is actually quite a bit.
You're actually quite right.
It's 1 in 100 people,
I've
man.
I've actually never heard of a survival gene, and I can't imagine there being such a thing, but that's what they said they're interested in me for, because I have it.
Oh, yeah. Jim, can you knock on that ball for us? Yeah.
It's down in my guest house right now.
Okay, well, you shouldn't have told him that. I was pretending it's there. Yeah, he just did. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. He knocked on the ball. There you go, Darren. We had a
So, Jim, have you ever been visited by the Men in Black?
Not yet, and I hope I don't.
Or the
Ben in Black.
Strangely enough,
real public with this information, that you probably shared this kind of on a limited basis, or am I wrong there?
Well, you can't just talk to anybody about this stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah. So recently, what was your last abduction? Was it the reptilians or?
It was the reptilians. Yeah.
Did you see them?
I mentioned it to my extraterrestrial friend, and he was kind of shocked about it. But he didn't have a lot to say about it. But he doesn't have a lot to say about it. He doesn't want to tell me anything. He sticks to the prime directive.
Wow.
Can you tell us about the guy that,
in fact,
his spaceship, what it looked like when he revealed it to you?
Yes, it was appeared to be solid stainless steel. It was football shaped, only it had straight lines. There were no curved lines, and there were no seams, no doors. It appeared to be solid stainless steel. And about 2 years ago, my extraterrestrial friend asked me, out of the blue, he asked me, he said, "You remember that spaceship in Proctor, Texas?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "What do you think it was made out of?" And I said, "Well, it looked like stainless steel, but at the same time, there was something unusual about it. It was kind of either more in focus or a little bit out of focus. I couldn't tell." And he said, could it have been Mercury? And I said, "That's exactly what it looked like, Mercury." and that came from an alien himself. So they obviously have mercury in their craft somehow or another.
Yeah, and it somehow works. Yeah, and we're gonna take a break from that. How you doing, Mr. Kurt Green? You're on the air. Kurt Green, are you on the air? Hello, Mr. Kurt Green. You're on the air, Mr. Kurt Green. What happened here? Reconnecting. Okay. Neil, are you there?
What?
Okay, you're there.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Dang, you're loud. Okay. We can certainly hear you. Trying to connect with Kurt Green.
Hey,
Okay, go ahead.
them aliens are stealing DNA, dude. They stealing our DNA.
Okay. Yes, I know. They're using for reproduction purposes. Okay, let's try this again.
No, it's the powers. Our DNA has powers, Mike.
Yes, they do. Our DNA's, yeah, they're trying to steal them.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can, sir. How you doing, Kurt? Kurt Green, you're on the air. Dang, I heard you for a second there. Oh my gosh.
Test 1, 2.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
yes, we're here, sir. Can you hear me? Hello, Kurt Green. You're on the air. Okay. Not sure why he's not hearing me. This is plugged in on the way or something here. Hello, Kurt. Are you there? Dang, he hung up already. I don't know why it's not hearing it. It should be hearing it. That does not make sense.
Well, Kurt Green don't believe in shit anyway.
Well, I thought you guys could argue really good, but anyway, I tried to take his call. I'm not sure why it didn't work. Oh, well, didn't work. That's all I can say. Everything else works on that. Device is one of my best.
He's probably got a diaper on it.
Well,
Diaper on his head.
Yeah, he probably was wearing a diaper on his head, and he was drinking too much, turned the wrong button, and pushed the wrong fucking button. So, there he goes again.
Yeah.
Trying, with a diaper on his head, to call in. Here he comes. All right. Do you have a diaper on your head, sir?
Hello.
Hello. Are you wearing a diaper?
Hello, hello.
Hello, do you hear me?
My goodness.
So, you have some kind of problem hearing me.
Yeah, probably was wearing it.
Diaper on your head?
He's got a diaper on his head.
No.
Well, obviously you're playing some device in the background, sir. This is Art Dinglebell here. You're fucking with the wrong radio DJ. Take the diaper off your head, sir.
Are you wearing a diaper? Hello. Hello, do you hear me?
Yeah. Good answer. Good answer. Okay, somebody's playing my show. Instead of, yeah.
You're so rude.
Obviously. Always have been. You should just get in the Discord and it'll stop all this shit, Kurt. It's echoing like crazy.
Good answer.
You're causing an incredible amount of echo and all kinds of things. Not that I don't like it.
Somebody's playing my show.
Kurt. Kurt.
Hello.
I know what you did last summer.
So turn your volume on Skype.
What? You can't hear me? All I'm hearing is echoing from you. Oh my God. I believe it's on his end. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way, man. Skype, okay, whatever. I'll see. Okay. Is there even any settings for that? Let's check. Let's check on the setting. I don't believe there is for anything on here anymore. Calling, whatever. There's no sound settings on here at all. It's automatic on this fucking thing. Skype sucks, dude. So basically, if you want to use Skype, you're screwed because they suck, basically. Especially if, No, I'm using a mobile device to capture Skype, and basically it's garbage. You can't even adjust your sound. So I can't even adjust my sound at all. There's nothing. There is no settings for that on here. Nothing. Nope. There's nothing. Sorry. There's no possible way that I can do anything with it. Can't do a fucking thing with it. It works for everybody else. Sorry, Kurt. Not a fan of Skype anymore. Not much. Just go in fucking Discord, Kurt. Discord is the new way. Skype sucks. We're going to go to Zoom, actually. Zoom, for anyone taking calls, I'm going to go to Zoom. Skype really sucks. As a matter of fact, Microsoft sucks, I got to say. Don't you think, man? Microsoft sucks. So, I can't even take a Skype call. That's ridiculous. It's not work. He can't hear me. I don't understand why. It works for Discord. I just took a Facebook call from Messenger on the same fucking line. So it's ridiculous. The guest that I just had on was on the same fucking line on Messenger. And it worked. So Skype is a piece of shit. If Messenger,
I want to play.
If Messenger
Mike,
is better
I want a flamethrower.
Wow, man. Here we go again.
I want to blow some shit up. See, I can't hear you.
Well, I can hear you.
A mute button on Skype that you have turned off or something. I cannot hear you. Dang. Hello.
Absolutely nothing turned off.
Hit that button.
There is nothing turned off. Kurt.
You're missing a button.
There is no missing button. It's you, sir. It's you, sir.
I want a flamethrower.
Wow. Can't believe it, man. Kurt, you're the one. I was using the fucking line. It's you, sir, that is missing a button, not me. You probably have missing buttons on your shirt. You probably have fucking goddamn spaghetti stains on your shirt from lunch. And you fucking walk around like a goddamn alcoholic, so...
I can hear you if I have Spreaker on, like 20-second delay, but you have some button.
No, Kurt, it's
on
you.
Skype
It is you, Kurt, that have
be
a
able
button
to
wrong. I'm
me
sorry.
hear
I
you
was
on
using
Skype.
this
Why
fucking
don't you
line, so
try
shut the
calling
fuck
me
up.
on
And
Skype?
I'm gonna. I already did call you
See
on
if it
Skype.
works out that way.
And sorry, it's something
I
on
hear
your
my
end.
playback so clear.
It is on your end.
I cannot
Try
hear you.
using the fucking Discord.
Try calling me
It
on
is
Skype.
on your end. So don't even try my Skype again because you're fucking ruining the show. Call in the Discord, okay? Go in the Discord because you don't get it. Skype, you're doing something wrong. Kurt, you're the one that's not pushing a fucking button. So that's done. Fuck you. We're going to go back to what we were doing before. Yeah. Take the diaper off your head, Kurt. With magnetics and... Do you know anything about that? How does it...
when he brought the mothership to my house, when it took off, there was an electromagnetic charge wrapped around one end of it, and then it shot off to the north, and 10 military jets took off after it.
Have you ever been inside one?
Wolfman, I'm sorry. He just sparked a thought.
Okay.
Jim, what knowledge or familiarity do you have with Bob Lazar?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite get all that.
Bob Lazar, are you familiar with Bob Lazar?
Yes, I am, and he seems awful credible to me. But I've read some stuff on the internet that where they really try to make him out to be a phony. But I mean, he seems awful real to me.
Yeah. Well, he talked about the element 115 somewhere almost 30 years ago, and that was before we publicly knew it even existed. And I'm thinking that is one of the elements that these beings use on their propulsion systems to fly their craft around. Do you have any knowledge about their propulsion systems or how they fly their craft?
No, I don't. I really don't. But all I know is they do use electromagnetic forces. Because I've seen it, I've seen it on the mothership. I mean, the mothership was right in front of me, and I was looking right at it, couldn't see it. It was pitch dark night, but I could see 10 military jets that were giving it a real wide berth, or where it was at. But then when it lit up that electromagnetic charge that wrapped around the end of it, it lit up the whole craft. You could see the whole thing, and it was I would say a half a mile long, probably a quarter of a mile wide, very low profile. But I mean, it was huge. It was just unbelievably huge.
Can you describe exactly where you were? I mean, what state, what city, what location? Where were you when you saw this exactly?
Central Texas.
But can you say more specifically without getting yourself in trouble? I mean, Texas is massive.
Well, it's we're almost the exact heart of Texas.
So is it anywhere near a lake, or is it completely like desert flatland area?
It's kind of rolling hills.
Okay. I got a friend that lives out there that I talk to, so I'm just trying to put the puzzle together. That's all,
Yeah. You're in Canada, right?
Wolfman's in Canada. I'm in California, but I spend a lot of time in Arizona, New Mexico, and I travel Colorado, all the Washington State, Oregon. There's a lot of hot spots over here.
Yeah, hot spot here too, man.
Canada's got a lot of hot spots.
Okay, I find by this Lake Erie, man, where I'm at the southern tip of Ontario, on Lake Erie shore. That's where I'm seeing most of it. And I've been all over Ontario, but actually further up north too. Up that way too, because the sky's so clear. It's weird. You really actually just all you got to do is get out from the city lights. They're everywhere.
It seems odd that they would be just here above my ranch, all the time. Yeah, they've got to be everywhere.
Okay, I got to ask you,
or
and you don't. I'm not
or
asking you
either
to
that.
tell me yes or no over the phone here tonight, but hypothetically, if you became confident that I was a safe person to invite to your property, I mean, do you have guests out there, or is it off limits completely?
Oh, sure. No, it's you're welcome to come anytime you want to.
I would. I have night vision goggles. I've seen craft in the daytime and the nighttime. I have not been, as far as I know, I've not been abducted. Wolfman had a lady on his show one night from Canada. I think.
You know, you were talking about seeing UFOs at night. For years, I never saw one at night. I saw them all in the daytime. And it's only been the last few years I've been seeing them at night.
Okay, everybody, I'm sorry for the interruption. We had a server crash. I don't know why this happened. Probably didn't want to.
We're back. We're back, though.
Yeah, we're back. We're back with Jim Marlin, everyone. So, right on. They can't stop us. They might be able to shut us down for a minute. They can't stop us. We're back.
Jim, what time is it where you are right now, Jim?
Okay, I'm here.
What time is it where you are, Jim?
That's where we started having problems right there.
I mean, look
the
to see.
server.
It is 10:30.
And what time do you typically go to bed at night?
It's late now out there.
After he gets drunk and stoned enough. What do you think? Come on. He used to be Willie Nelson's buddy.
We don't want to be rude about it. I mean, how many more minutes you got in you before you get too tired? We don't want to be rude about it. We love you. We appreciate you sharing your time with us.
Yeah, we love you, man. You're my hero, Jim.
Oh, okay, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate this very much, and you know, maybe I can be on again another time.
Yes. I mean, if you get tired,
I am getting
tonight,
tired.
we understand.
I sensed it too.
We definitely want you back.
You know, that was pretty good, Eric. You've got 3 times tonight that you have been dead on with just sensing things with almost a paranormal spookiness about you, man. 3 times. Eric's an
I'm
alien.
on the same wavelength. I
Eric's
don't
an
want to
alien.
say too much because they already think I'm a nut as it is. So
Well, it's almost like you were reading his mind.
No, I'm on the same wavelength. All 3 of us are on the same wavelength right now. I can feel it totally, completely feel it.
All right, well,
thank you guys a lot, and I appreciate it very much.
I'd love to have you back anytime, man. I know we couldn't have a big, long interview with him because he just doesn't. He's got to take it easy, man.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
Call me back anytime.
I'm an older guy, and I just know that at 10:30, 11, I'm ready to just relax. So if you're in that mode where you want to talk some more, great. If you want to relax, we appreciate and respect your time.
Yeah, and thank you so much,
you very much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, guys. I'll talk to you next time.
All right, that was Jim Marlin, everybody. Holy smokes, we were lucky. All right. Woo! Oh, we need a rap beat. Keep out it. Oh, yeah. And all kinds of balls, man. We like balls. Bouncy, 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 bouncy balls. Boom, bouncy, 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 the bouncy, 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 bouncy castle. Watch your head. Watch your stepping because the evil cloud. Bouncy, bouncy, the boom, 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 bouncy, 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 bouncy. Watch your head. Jump around, jump around, jump around. In the bouncy, 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 boing, boing, boom, 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 bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Something like that. Oh, that was fun. Bouncy, bouncy, bounce, boom, 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 boom.
That was cool.
Bouncy, boom, 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 boom.
So we're gonna get Neil to call in whenever you're ready.
Oh yeah,
Neil. Let me just tell you right now.
Okay, shut up, Eric. We're back. Oh, fuck, that was good. I'm going to open up Discord again, folks. Oh, man. In the bouncy, bouncy, bounce, boom, be boom, bouncy, boom, 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 in the bouncy, bouncy, boom, bouncy, bouncy, with the stabby, stabby, stab, huggy, huggy, hug. In the bouncy, bouncy, bounce, monster castle. Oh, yeah, let's do it. That was funny. You gotta get this going. Bouncy, bouncy, bounce, boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 bouncy, bouncy, bounce. Bouncy, 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 poopy, poopy, pants, poopy, poopy, pantsy, pants. bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Well, Kurt, I cannot give you that. I gave it to you too many times now. You should probably learn how to use your fucking Twitter again. It's in there too. Oh my God, these people that don't know how to use it. Discord. You give them a fucking invite over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And I've had it. Yeah. Neil, you still there? Sir. No, he's gone. Okay. Well, let's try it. Taking Kurt's call over here. We'll try it over here. Let's see. If we can do this. Come on, Kurt. Come on, Kurt. Try it this way. Okay. Maybe. I think I know what's going on here. Voice connected. Yeah. There it is. Right there. Go ahead. We'll see what happens if Kurt comes in. Otherwise, I'm not sure why this is not going in. Let's not do that anymore. Fuck that. Take it out. Okay. Ever again. So Jeffrey. My gosh. Well, I can help. You got George Knapp, Connie Willis. Oh my God, Joseph Farrell in the conference. You'll see Dr. Sasha Lesson. He worked with Zachary Stishin. He can help. We've even got George Knapp, Connie Willis, Valerie Yukharov, Joseph Farrell in the conference. So, okay, these are the people that I'm going to get working with me now. Oh, my God, okay. So I'm into some things here. So the guy I had tonight is going to give me some really good guests. And I had lots of love here. What Lies Beneath? Jeffrey Boyd. What Lies Beneath Mars with Jeffrey Boyd Jr. at the Mars Anomaly Research Society Conference. Blogspot.com. There you go. Okay. So I just announced that that should work. Okay, there's something wrong with that. Okay, I understand now. That is not working. So maybe Kurt was right. It wasn't working properly, the device. I'm going to have to turn it off and restart it. It's the only way to fix it. So it wasn't your fault, Kurt. Anyways, Kurt, the other line is open. There we go. It's working. Line 1 did not work. Okay, now maybe line 2 works. Do you hear me, sir? Okay. He's not hearing me. Really? Kurt, you got to hear me. You got to hear me this time.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, I'm on Wolfman and your show at the same time, Debbie. My goodness.
Oh, I called you on Skype, so
I'll be
that's
right
fine.
back, Debbie.
That is okay. We don't know that.
I have to.
It's all right.
Debbie's
Kurt.
show.
Yes, and we're a lot more important here. No, you don't have to do that.
Oh, I'm on Discord, Debbie. Discord.
Well, we can't hear it on this end, so it doesn't matter. It may screw up everything, though. That could be
Hold
why.
on, I'll have it figured out.
That could be why you didn't hear me before.
No. Hold on, where's...
Well, I think it may have had something to do with that. I don't know.
No, because... where the hell is the Discord channel?
Well, I have no idea what you're doing there, sir.
Hold on. Give me 30 seconds. I'll be done.
You're definitely not.
There it is.
You're not radio DJ
Sure,
material.
I found it.
It must be a button.
Okay,
there.
I found it. No. So I went trying to find your Discord after I couldn't hear you, and then I ran into Debbie's Discord, and then I started, and now I'm with you. How are you, brother?
I'm okay.
You
Everybody
were making
else.
fun of me.
No, everybody else was
making
gone.
Fun of me.
Yeah,
Oh, they're all
because
gone?
you, sir, were telling me that I'm pushing the wrong button, and it wasn't on my end.
Everybody left.
But everybody left, so I proved to you that I can call you back, and it's not on my end.
Oh, well, it's all right.
Now that I could concentrate on what I was doing, because, but basically it was on your end, not mine, because I had talked to somebody else online too before that, and it works perfectly fine.
Blame. I'm sorry for all the trouble. Life is good.
My line 1 and my line 2 are very simple. I've simplified my whole process of doing things here, so I can't really fuck up very easily. It just plug it in, and that's it. So
come into.
I used it.
Come into Debbie's Discord.
Okay.
She's on internet. I'll see you there.
Okay, I'll do that.
Cool.
And we'll see everybody there very soon.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Bye.
Yeah.
Man, there he is.
This shit never ends. It just gets more complex and more strange.
Really?
Every 2 minutes, it's like a chance you could possibly like get your head around it. Like some new guy turns up.
Really, you can't really get around it because my head turned up.
Are you from like Australia?
No, I'm from Australia.
I guess I'm from Australia.
Actually, I'm from Liverpool.
Hey, guy with the accent. What do you think
Yes,
about?
Wolfman Mark, everybody. The king of all the voices. I heard you get your name Dennis.
I'm not really from Wales. I'm trying to fake my accent, but I'm from Liverpool.
What do you think about Trump in United States, and do we seem like a white trash country?
Basically,
now?
us in England, we all think you're a bunch of puss balls.
Sounds big.
Kind of like Mr. Bean trying to run the
Yeah,
country.
Mr. Bean. Yeah, Mr. Bean. I'm pretty sure Mr. Bean's a documentary.
Wolfman Mike.
Puff, you're a bunch of puffs, really, a bunch of puffs. Powder
Who's
puffs.
the fuck?
You're a bunch of fucking weird powder puffs, that's all. You, a lot of flares in your tail, you got nothing. No teeth there.
His name is Mike.
Something about white trash America.
That is Wolfman Mike.
Fucking wanker.
If I wasn't here, how would these people talk?
That faggot from fucking wherever Wolfman's from talk to me about politics here in the USA. Suck my dick.
Yeah, you don't even know it. You don't know nothing about politics. I'm from fucking Canada, man. This is a fucking wolf, man.
Canada's like the fucking first country to get overwritten.
Yeah, he's a fucking piece of shit. We got for the fucking prime minister. He looks like a pansy in diapers.
And everybody in the college served the exact same amount of time in the American military.
And Joe's right.
But a hee-haw country.
The one thing about our fucking prime minister, Joe, he could probably punch out all of the other He's a pretty good boxer.
Well, fuck off. That little shit.
Actually, he's a damn good boxer. He's not fucking
such a
balls,
good
man.
statesman, but a decent boxer.
The little powder puff walked around in public at the fucking at the concert when the guy died for tragically hip in the crowd without security guards. He's not scared of people. I can't believe that the fucker.
Wow.
And he is a championship boxer and shit. So maybe I could kick his face in. And actually, you know, if I kick his face in, I can say, well, you're a boxer. You should have been able to defend yourself.
You might be able to kick his face in, but he's still going to be the prime minister that fucking basically destroys fucking Canada, and so to the point where he never comes back again.
Well, you know, I should kick his face in before he does it, because I know he's up to something. When he legalized marijuana.
That was about 5 years ago.
He legalized
That's
fucking
over.
marijuana, right? His dad destroyed our country before that by introducing us to the goddamn world banks. Before that, we had a Canadian bank that it was free. But now we have to do, you know, all the fucking...
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, you don't know shit about my country.
This is boring. This is making me fucking tired.
Well, get a fucking dildo and think about Trudeau.
Eddie.
Boring.
Hey,
Go get a fucking dildo.
Oh my god.
I want to blow something up.
This is live on air. This is pathetic. What is this?
The rapture a little more.
Why did you allow this to happen?
No. We're not on my show right now. All right, I didn't allow this clusterfuck. Don't you even dare.
Definitely a clusterfuck. Not
This
the good
is a
fuck.
true trailer park. Look,
This is Curtis, say the famous line. We're all going to
we
die.
have Debbie in a double wide there at the mansion. We
I want to
have
lynch somebody.
Dennis
Bomb
little
targeted us.
I
camp
do
trailer.
not live in a trailer. Thank
We
you. I've
have-
got class.
Trudeau
Man, he's
bomb
got a
targeted
double
us.
wide.
I'm a fucktard now because of Trudeau.
Wolfman, single wide with the pop out.
Shut up, Curtis.
The only good thing about him is he has a really nice ass, and I'm gay, and I like him.
That's a good fucking show.
Oh, I can't take it, Rick. I can't do this. This is pathetic.
Bye. Sorry. I lied. I'm not gay. Anyways, I have a big
All our
dick.
crazy folks.
Maybe you double lied and you're like super gay.
Yeah, well, at least I got a big dick. I don't care either way. And I made a rhyme, too.
Okay.
What's wrong with it?
Mike, can you do your impression of the guy that goes west of the Rockies? West of
the Rockies, you are on the air. This is Art Dinglebell. Can you turn your background device, please?
Phil, here comes Joe again.
Oh my!
Oh, hi.
When
I just
people have
wanted to
their
remind
radio
any
on.
inferior males that may be on the call with you
but if they want to be able to fuck like Seeker, 2 glasses of pure Nova Scotia wild blueberry juice a day. And even if you're a faggot from England, you'll be able to make little women happy.
That's right. You fucking limey. You are on the air.
Rick,
Hey, you mean faggots are real?
I like you to make
Faggots are real?
I really don't like it when you call us faggots just because we're from England, you know. That's really rude.
Just Joe, man. Joe can't stop thinking about me, you know. So he's
That's
got
what
to throw
it
a
is,
little
yeah.
bit.
Really fucking pansy fucking powder puff. What a
Terrible
fucking wanker.
That is, stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. Quit. God, that's fucking embarrassing.
Miranda's such a fucking bitch.
Oh my God. No, I'm not a bitch, Debbie. I'm just telling the fucking facts here, and you know it, homegirl, because it's true. That was bad. I'm sorry. I love you, Mike. Word to word, but no, home. No.
Oh, yeah, whatever you say. Oh, this is
All
Elvis.
right, who's coming out the
How you
closet?
doing? Oh, this
Who's
is
coming
Elvis.
out the closet, man?
Shut up, Neil.
Huge.
This is
That's
such
what
a
they
disaster.
said.
Oh my God.
Faggots come out the closet.
Shut up,
This
Neil.
is what President Trump wants.
Just shut up, Curtis.
Well,
Everyone
things
just shut up.
Okay, hey,
Kick them in the balls.
what did one asshole say to the other asshole?
Oh, can you stretch me out a bit?
You ever heard that joke?
What is it? That the what's one asshole
Now, who got
to
their
another?
diaper
What's
on?
the answer?
You have
He's
your
going to
diaper
start
on,
talking.
Kurt.
Could it not be Curtis? Because he.
Oh my God, the sound effects. Why?
He's doing that.
Why? Mike, why?
It was Elvis, actually. That was Elvis. I am the king.
Shut up. I can't hear Debbie. Okay, I can't hear Queen Debbie. Debbie, hi.
You be quiet, man. Oh, listen to Debbie.
Ah, it's Aaron. Hi, Aaron.
Here comes Joe again.
Hello.
Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, this is Where's Rick? Where's the star of the show? Where's Rick? Why is it Rick here?
To try to save this job.
Here,
Thank you.
I'm a Martian.
Well,
What the hell? The biggest. I don't even know.
Can I ask one of these women a question?
I'm a Martian. Ask me.
Yeah, who's that? Whoever that is, stop talking and never start again. That's crazy.
Shut up, Dennis.
Dennis, yeah, you take yourself as a. You can take a big L.
Stop, Dennis. Just stop it. Everyone,
Somebody
stop.
got Dennis muted or something because
Can
I
I
can't
ask
hear
Debbie
him.
something?
No, Curtis, you can go. Please.
Oh my God, Rick. Where's Rick at? I'm feeling alone in here.
I'm going to show you how we do this. Ready? Okay, and Curtis. Wait a minute. Oh, I got one more to do. Curtis, were you there? Curtis.
Jesus.
Curtis. I can hear Dennis talking through Aaron's audio. Okay, I just muted Aaron. Curtis.
That is fucking illegal on Spreaker, is it? Not illegal. This is Joe Roop.
Did you want to ask me a question? I've got all the guys muted.
I believe that's not
I was
actually.
going to ask.
I may have to report you.
About that white trash Catholic church and that man standing up like 6 inches in front of that Indian man.
What, you mean you got a
smiling
6-inch
and
dick?
smirking. What do you think about that?
I don't.
Him smirking and mocking.
Well, if he only had a 6-inch
think it was
dick, well, that's
played
pretty
the other way,
funny.
but I believe it went down like I thought it would. No, you're not muted, Rick. Hush. Ruth, I mean, I think that he was really being an asshole as to those people. Is all I'm saying.
Asshole. He's an asshole. He's an asshole. Yo-yo.
And they all doing the hatchet. Build that wall and doing hatchet, build that wall.
All right, what?
Mocking that Indian
Do
man.
y'all know the joke about the asshole? What did the asshole say to the other
You're all
asshole?
unmuted now. You're all unmuted.
Did anybody know?
I don't know what did the one asshole say to the other asshole.
You have a joke like that?
Everybody.
I think it was a
Does
fart.
anybody got the answer?
No, say the punchline.
That's a horrible topic. Everybody's
Please
going to
tell
end up
us.
arguing with each other.
No one knows the answer?
No.
On the call. And secondly, there were no victims at that. I was there to piss somebody
He
else
was an
off.
arrogant bastard,
Everybody got
6
what they
inches
wanted.
in front of his
Everybody
face,
paid them.
smiling, smirking like a white trash.
He hung up.
God Almighty told me.
Yeah.
Well,
Like a
he was
he
an
dog being
ass.
like a mong
Then he tried to walk it back, and he get to fly out to Today's Show and get a hotel. Oh, I didn't do nothing wrong. I was white trash, Debbie. Complete white trash.
Ding along, ding a ding dong doo. I'm a ding dong too.
And mocking
Hey,
the
Kurt, take
Indian-
that diaper off your head.
Oh, so rude.
You're
I
a real
think
digger.
Chuck caused that.
Kurt's a digger.
Big part of it.
He digs it. He's a digger.
Like,
I can dig it. You can dig it. You can dig it too.
Digger.
He's a digger. I can dig it. You can dig it. You can dig it. I dig it. You can dig it. You can dig it. I can dig it. Oh, yeah. Well, I can dig it. I can dig it too. That's you, Kurt. You can dig it. I know you can dig it, Kurt. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I like to have a cheeseburger. Somebody get a cheeseburger for me. Yeah. Take the Coke bottle out of my ass. Oh, yeah. That's better. Yeah, oh, yeah. Stretch it out of hell. Oh, boom.
You got gas. What's wrong? You got gas?
Yeah, man. What's the punchline for your joke? Come on, Neil.
Coke bottle in your ass. You got gas, huh?
I know what. Oh, what did the one asshole say to the other asshole?
What the other ass? Oh, hey. I guess we could be cheek friends.
Wow. I got kicked. What you guys do?
Well, I'm hearing myself now. It's pretty crazy.
He ought to do a hee-haw reboot and cast all you.
Oh, man.
You know, a reboot's all like new, everybody rebooting on. Hee-haw include all of you. Debbie, Wolfman, out, playing music with spoons in the jugs. And a grinning.
Yep.
I'll do a good job.
I agree. Totally. I'm blown apart by this. I'm completely blown apart. What else is in here? We lost the English-speaking gentleman.
Man, I'm surrounded by darkness.
What happened to the English-speaking gentleman?
Darkness.
I'm in the desert.
My gosh. So, did we chase away?
Yeah, especially when I got the lights off.
That got rebooted is True Capitalist Radio, a.k.a. The Ghost Show, by Jason DeLeon.
Dr. Bristle.
How's it going?
I love you, man.
Love him, bro. I never.
Thank you.
What's your newest costume? What animal do you represent this week?
It could be a number of animals, but the first thing I think of right now is dinosaurs.
I like dinosaurs. especially with big tails.
Dinosaurs never existed.
I know. They're fake. But do you play the skin
I heard
flute?
Mandy's in the call. How's it going, Mandy?
I think that's not Mandy. It's Bathtub Girl.
No, I'm not Mandy.
Hi.
Butter pecan ice cream in
I am
there.
a tub girl. Oh my! That's real. That was a troll. You know. Yeah, tub guy.
There's actually a real person behind that, with real feelings.
Mm-hmm.
It's Angela, right?
Yes.
There you go, Dr. Bristle. You see, all the ridicule went down to
Say
the
it
actual
one more
person
time.
with real feelings, that cries and everything. But actually, I'd like to ask you a question. Do you play the skin flute?
Skin flute.
I play the skin flute very well.
I play the violin, piano, voice, a couple different instruments.
Nice. Yeah, I got this from Scotland. It's called a skin flute.
To some Nazarene college up in Manitoba, long time ago.
Nice. Anyways,
I'm cold up there. Winnipeg.
Fan, did you play a musical instrument in high school, like saxophone or drums or?
have you ever blown up an alien? We're having fun on this show, folks. All right. So tomorrow, guess what? I got Ronnie Dawson and a clairvoyant
Ask you
coming
a
on.
question: did you play an instrument in high school?
11 p.m.
What the hell?
Eastern
You're
Standard
talking over
Eastern
him.
Standard Time. Eastern Time. Ronnie Dawson and Patricia, the clairvoyant, is going to be on
Maybe
tomorrow
probably
night at
play
11
like
p.m.
clarinets.
Eastern Time.
Maybe
2 minutes left.
what did you play in high school? Instrument.
Skin flute.
It's another word from the Late Show.
Later.
Just so you know, guys.
They don't get it, Dr. B. They don't even realize I'm teasing them, or else they do, and they're just going along with it, which is good.
Dr. B, did you play an instrument in high school?
I don't recall playing anything in high school.
What did you play with?
Board and band in high school?
Did you play with yourself while you're watching the marching band?
Wow. I don't know what I was walking into.
I did.
Yeah, like that. Okay.
There's a devil in the basement. There's a devil in the cellar. So anyway, we figured out something about the Great Pyramid. That's real. Yeah.
Fiction, Brian.
The cymatics show the same pattern. So it all works out. All the dimensional patterns, and the numbers all fit with a chord, a musical chord, and the cymatics of the chord actually make the shape of the fucking goddamn
On
pyramid.
the upper bow of the rainbow.
It's fucked up, dude. Yeah, we figured something out. Weird, man.
I got to talk about David
Lie
Rainbow.
beneath the lower bow.
Yeah, and it actually is quite in tune with my skin flute.
Along white beaches, looking at the sea, the blue waters. Dance its way towards the golden sand.
Leave
Shy
me
away from smiling horizons. Turbulent second vessels across. Scream their hearts out. Garland, the princess of the sea, colorful as galaxies dust. Is off guard. Rainbows. Rainbows.
Okay.